Wow.
Oh, funny. Okay. Naanay messages from YouTube na gid. Kay katong imong last na interview with us, katong nag-join ka sa istorya. Wa ko kabalo katong among streaming sa YouTube kay sabay-sabay man ang tanan streaming sa
Yes, yes,
Facebook
yes.
pages o sa YouTube.
Mm-mm.
Sa YouTube
Mm-mm.
dagan kayo ni tanaw ato ba?
Mo?
Oh, dagan kayo.
Wow, yay.
Yo, tab.
Welcome. Bye-bye.
Time sa Ikuha na ko link para ma-share nimo sa imong
Wala ko, di ko ka-share sa kung kuan lagi kay block
naman.
ko for 30 days.
Oh, suspended
Wa
ka.
ko kahimog. Yes, for 30 days. Oh my gosh. Tungod lang kay gitubag na ko si Jover. Jover the Ogre.
Nga naman ka na-suspend ay against community standards.
Oo, kay bullying bayaw niya. Animal cruelty. So,
Oh
ano
my
siya.
gosh. Grabe po na. Oy, asa naman
Sige
ang
na lang,
ang
namatay.
what
Wala naman
happened
tayo
to the
mabuhat.
First Amendment America? 'Di ba?
Mao
Freedom
gani.
of
Sa ano
speech.
man kidney sila nga.
Pasty.
Sila collective sila kaayo niya. Umta kibalo nga ang blue man unta na ang logo sa kuan Facebook, yellow man din nagpadagan diha. Di ko na tayo mabuhat.
Okay. Sige lang na i-share na lang na ako sa sa other group para kaya nga ba?
Dito man sila nagulat. Dito man sila nagulat.
Asa sila nagulat? Asa man?
Ang akong friends, ako na lang gisandag link sa Pop Beans.
Okay. Good, good, good. Nice.
Yeah.
One last thing na lang
Sige
niya.
lang kay,
Start.
I think tomorrow and the next day man pod, I might create a new Facebook account. Taon lang gid kay na busy lang gid kay ko, so wala pa gid ko naka-create og bagong account.
Na-biktima na gid ka sa na-biktima sa Facebook fact checkers. Censorship.
Yesterday, there can the ilk.
Ay, skewed. Ginoo. Okay, one more thing and then sugo na kita. Funny.
Kadali lang, are we online na no? Sige.
Sige lang, sige, you can do I'm setting up something else pa before we start. So if you need to well, what do you need? Get a drink?
There's no audio.
Hala. Grabe, no? Very interesting yun ang week ron. Ha? What?
Hello?
Yes.
Walay audio.
Walay audio?
No, wala ang audio.
I need though.
Hello?
Can you hear me?
Hello?
Can you hear me? No? No sound?
May audio.
I can hear you, but you can't hear me. I can hear you. Wait, let me message you. Hang on.
No, I can't hear you.
Hala ka. How's okay. Alright, hang on guys. MAGNO kami next dito sa Istoryang Futbolero. Live po tayo ngayon. Pati sa YouTube. Sa YouTube rin. If you wanna watch us on YouTube, you can do that right now. Hanapin lang po ninyo ang Istoryang Futbolero sa YouTube. Ayan na po si Jam.
There.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay.
Good. Nakuyapan man ko si Mua day.
Sorry!
Ala, sige. Sugod na
Okay.
tao, bising mawala pa ka.
Oh my gosh! Hello, sorry, 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 sorry.
Binuang lang. Kaupod. Maayong gabi. Good evening. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Istoryang Futbolero. Maayong gabi kung Bisaya ka. With us tonight on Istoryang Futbolero, my name's Ron Poblete. Our guest is Miss Jam Magno, who just
Hello!
recently, whose account was recently suspended. Bangaw. Naunsa naman na. Day! Grabe po, doy.
I am not Koan-gyud. To all of the people who are looking for me on Facebook, I'm so sorry. You have been tagging me, you have been posting and commenting. I cannot reply to any of your comments. Sorry, Gyud. I have been suspended on both accounts, my profile and my page. So I just wanna come out with that. But I'm still on TikTok and Instagram.
So,
So
did
yeah.
you receive that awful message from Facebook
Yes.
that you violated
Yes.
community
Yes.
standards?
Yeah. And
Paubo.
it was something that for me, well, ganun sila eh. So, I will create,
Grabe,
I
no?
think I'm gonna create a new Facebook account, I think tomorrow, because I'm gonna be resting for like 2 days. We're gonna close the business down for like tomorrow and the next day, because yeah, I'm gonna
Right.
take my people out on a holiday. So,
Wow. So generous of Jam Magdo, the
of
boss,
course,
the
they've been my
entrepreneur.
family. So, I have
Right.
to give back to my people.
Oh, good on you, Jam. Inana mo
Mhm.
lagag employees. Yeah, 'di ba? Kanang
Yes,
you know,
demand manggod sila. We've had a very very stressful like June to now. So when they asked na, kasi I asked them, I said, what do you want for Christmas? Like they have their bonuses. I've given them their bonuses like last week 2 weeks ago. And
mm,
then I asked them, I said, okay, so what are we gonna do for Christmas? Like we have to do something because tayo lang naman yung family. So they were like, yeah, we wanna go and do a hotel stay. Like we want to do a staycation, and we know what it feels like. So I said, oh, tama. I partnered with a local hotel here who've been very, very supportive of me. And they've been inviting me to come on over and just rest for a while because they know I've been so stressed out. So yeah, I finally had the time and I saved up for it. So yeah, we're doing it tomorrow. So overnight lang, pero at least makaswimming sila, makakaon sila
nice.
lami, kay maghanda man ko gamay. So
Good job. Good job, Jam. Ah,
yay!
you're not only a model citizen because you express your thoughts very clearly and very thoughtfully when it comes to the country, but you also actually do you are a good model citizen when it comes to employing your fellow Filipinos, yung mga trabahante.
Of
You have to treat
course.
them right, di ba? Ingon
Yes, yes, yes.
si President Duterte tung 2016 so na we have to uplift the
Yes,
dignity of the Filipino worker.
yes,
So, di ba? So, mga little incentives like that will go a long, long way. Kay,
yes,
di
of
ba?
course.
I mean,
Mm-mm.
a company is no different from a family. You know,
That's
you are
true.
you are
Well, at
working
least
and
for
dealing
me, yeah.
with human beings who have feelings and who have you know it's the responsibility of a business owner is really huge
True.
because you are the second family to that person,
Yes.
diba? You spend so much time together kahit na kapoy nakagkita sa iyang nawong.
Yes,
Hala,
they
sige
have
lang,
to keep up.
pasensya
No,
lang yun.
actually, they have to keep up with me. So they keep up with the business. They keep up with the household. It's not easy. So that's why, again, as I said, stressful. It was a very stressful year. So it's just my way. I never miss a payday. I've never missed a single payday ever. It came to a point na I'm the one who hasn't eaten, but sila naagid sila yung makaon like during the day while they're here, because of course while they are with me, they get fed, they get free food, and whatever I eat, they eat. So I there was a time on good now we really had a really bad financial pinch last month.
Mm.
So it was about siguro mga 3 to 4 times nga mas una gid sila nga makakaon, and bahalag ako na lang ang dili kay anyway murag I always think na lang bitaw na it's better nga ako ang musafir kay anyway mas hagok man gud sila yun.
Right.
Kaya it's not easy, the business pa, Tony pa, and now and then with all of the attention, although it didn't change, but of course it's just how they have to keep up, just that they have to keep up with everything also, and that's why I'm super grateful kay wala jud ko nila biyai, like wala jud mi nila they treat us really well, they take care of Tony and I very well, so it's just my way of giving back.
You know how interconnected the things are, right? Like si Mikel, who's also a co-host for Istoryang Futbolero. Mikel Paris is the owner of Auntie Anne's, and
Oh.
we've had really, eye-opening conversations about what he did for Auntie Anne's during the pandemic. Kaya syempre, tanang mga negosyo,
Of
uh,
course,
there
yes,
came to a
yes.
point where you're forced to let go of people
Yes.
because you're not earning as much.
Yes.
Pero you know what he did? He soldiered on. Kumbaga, he tried
Yes.
so many different
Ano man yun? Yes.
uh, ways to retain his employees, his personnel. And that's why it's very important for people who watch the program, especially the ones who are very.
Business owners, yeah.
You have to support the local businesses. One of the
Yes.
advocacies that we have now on Istoryang Futbolero, Jam, is to entice everyone to buy Filipino products and support your small
Yes, I
businesses.
agree. I
Diba?
agree.
Okay, we have people like Jam Magno and Mikel Paris of Auntie Anne's who are supporting. Like I said, your employees are your second family.
Yes.
So and for them to be able to survive this pandemic, the
Yes.
business has to earn money, and the way to earn money is for people to buy your products. So we
Yes.
need to buy local.
At least,
We need to
yes.
buy small. Support our small businesses.
Mm-mm.
Jam. So storyaw na to tungod sa so I just saw this a meme of oh no, it was a post by one of the supporters of the president, and apparently you have a counterpart from the opposition. Meron na bang ganun na parang meron na silang fabricated jam magno 2.0 dilawan version. Nangita po sila gwapa uy, para ano na ay
I'm not aware. Who di ay? Is
ambot lang
na?
if I misinterpreted that, but there's a personality on Twitter that, and then I just saw this message coming from one of the supporters or one of the DDS na sabi na, ay, don't share that that post, just screenshot it because apparently Jam Magno or the opposition has meron ng panglaban kay Jam Magno. Kuyawa po din.
I am not in competition with everybody. I don't understand. Like, this is not war of the brains. Like, I don't understand it. Like,
It's crazy, no?
sila ba nga na ikalaban sa ako? And I'm like,
No, one thing kasi now they refuse to understand, or they just they just can't get their brain to wrap around it, is the fact that most of the supporters of this administration is organic. 'Di ba?
Yes.
It's ano lang voluntary lahat in 2016 when the president ran for office. The support that he got, contrary to what we want to portray, na kesyo daw nag-hire daw og mga trolls o niya paid a bunch of money, a few like
How I wish.
some PR
How I
company
wish.
to
But,
to ano to sort of like spruce up the image of the president. Everything was organic. People just came out of the open and then said, we want this guy to run for office. Diba?
yes, that's true. But, of
Di mo-
course, I wasn't one of those people.
yeah, you were a
I
Miriam supporter.
Yes. And I actually was gonna say this nga, if ever there was anybody that was gonna turn me into DDS, I'd probably do that for Sara Duterte pa. diha pa siguro ko nga kanang yung, so like I would be so proud to be called the DDS, because as early as now, even before she announced she was ever gonna run for president, siya akong bet. But of course, if she isn't gonna run, then whoever I inherit as a president, then that's it. Ang ana naman ko kasimple. My principles when it comes to politics is that, again, I don't want a color. Because like if I support Sarah and she's eventually going to win, then it's a good thing, right? Like I'm
Yeah.
still going to be pro Philippines. But if ever she's not gonna run and somebody else is gonna run, I just hope that whoever wins the seat or wins the presidency really does continue the legacy. Continues whatever good the projects have, like Duterte has, and President Duterte leaves that legacy, and it continues because this is what works for the Filipino people.
Yeah,
So that's, I think.
you know what? It's a good
So
thing that you mentioned the legacy that the president will leave behind. Unbeknownst to people from the left or the opposition or the so-called DILAWAN, because they're so close-minded about what the
yes,
administration has been doing.
yes,
From the perspective of somebody who is actually neutral,
yes,
contrary to what they think. Ikaw,
yes.
Jam, pro-Philippines magid ka, dili man ka, you don't really claim to be DDS, di ba?
No,
Um,
no.
so, what is it about this administration that you appreciate so much? Can you enumerate the things that you are very happy
Well,
about?
well, first of all, I'm really happy that people are just a little bit better. People in government are just a tad bit better. They have a certain sense of pride that their commander in chief is somebody that they look up to and feel like that he is to be respected.
Hmm.
That's number one. Number two, I can actually see development in many of the areas here in the Philippines. The build, build, build. Oh, I have seen the build, build, build. I see it happen. The issues when it comes to how things are run in different government agencies, I see it. The reason why, like, they have so many issues, like for example in PhilHealth, if not for this presidency, we would never know of the billions that was stolen from us. If it
Hmm.
wasn't for this presidency, we would never even see all these issues. Just because you see it in this administration, it doesn't mean that this administration caused it. I mean, it's stupid to think that, like, for example, the PhilHealth issue, they're going to blame it on the president. No, no, no. It happened way before him. And now it just came out because he put his person there and they just blew it all up. Oh, next, Bureau of Customs,
Mm.
the NAIA, all these other agencies that we know are like really, really bad to the hill have been shaken up because of this administration. Our AFP is finally modernized. Finally, during this administration,
Mm.
we are given, yes, our military men and women, not just their wages, but also their fight is better. Because like what Loretta Chu said, that if we have a leader who fights like a lion, everybody is a lion. And I agree with that. And that's how I see President Duterte, because like, I made a video last night. I said, his personality is really magaspang. He's not cute, love me. Hindi kasi siya ganun eh. However, when he speaks, we listen. I listen. I hear him. I comprehend him. Maybe because I have such high respect for him as a person. Not because na Bisaya siya or Mindanaoan siya. I'm not like that. However, I like it when a leader inspires change amongst people, even from non-voters like me. I never loved the government of the Philippines before. I never cared. I was always apolitical because, once I see one speech of the president, di na ko ganan maminaw. I was like that before eh. I did not see, the value of the president before, the previous presidents before. However, when Duterte came into office, like what I shared at my last interview or my last jamming with you guys, now, when I saw him on TV and he finally became president, I did not have an ounce of like, ngano siya man. Like, I did not have that in my
Mm.
heart. Now, all I had in my heart was, yes, we might actually have a chance at change. Maybe. Like, I'm gonna risk my belief that maybe if I participated in the government this time around, something will happen. And that's
Right.
why I spoke, yeah. And that's why when I saw him come out on TV, during his inauguration in June of 2016, I told him, na sir, I will come and see you soon. Within the 6 years of your presidency, I'm going to come and see you soon because I did something for our country because I believe in you. That's just like that was my proclamation to him that sir, I'm good. Kumbaga, he doesn't know who I am. He has no idea I exist. But diba, my point is, because I respect him and I respect our current mayor and our current LGU. That's why I participate. That's why I say I don't have a color, because I inherited all of our I inherited all of our leaders already. I inherited President Duterte, I inherited Mayor Lagnada. It's just how it is. And I see the change, like even here in Butuan City. That's why maybe my views are like this, because in our LGU I see development. And even if kasi I have to explain, ha, even if it's hindi sila kaalyado, they're not kaalyado. However, both President Duterte and our Mayor Lagnada are both dili sila trapo. Hindi sila trapo. You don't see them like, oh, me. No. No. But they work. Our mayor in Butuan works. He's a worker.
I know
So
the best example to give Jam to prove what you just said. When President Duterte was still mayor of Davao, and Yolanda happened, and then he brought a whole
exactly.
contingent from Davao City,
Yes.
and
Yes.
most of the time when politicians do that, they have their names emblazoned on
Yes.
their
Yes.
vehicles and their packages, diba? Like I
People of
remember
Davao to, nakadumdum ko ato. Because my
diba?
dad
Remember,
was there.
from the people of Davao, and then you see
Yes.
there, in contrast to another candidate before.
Mga now.
Remember, see, see former Vice President Binay, he had his name on all the packet of rice.
Wala yun. No, dili good trapo. Like, it's the same here, good put sa Butuan. You don't see the name of Mayor Lagnada. No. However, we have the branding, Butuan on.
Uh,
City ascending. That's our branding as a city. And that's what is supposed to be, what it's supposed to be. You cannot see, you know what, it's funny, ha. If you come to Butuan City, you will not see our mayor's face nga kanang itong mapuno ang kadapuste. No. You will see his face sa iyang old campaign posters. Sa
hmm.
kanang election pa. Pero kanang magpakita siya sa iyang now and you would hear him sa mga proclamations. No, di siya ing ana. Like yesterday, I will have to share this pod, ha. So yesterday, Secretary Duque, Secretary Anyo, Secretary Lorenzana was here in Butuan City yesterday.
Okay.
So they were they did the RTF LCAC. There was an awarding for assistance to former rebels. Okay, here in Butuan City. So everybody was here, the big wigs, them, and then we had Mayor Lagnada, we had my Tita Angel Amante, we had all the mayors. And you know what? It was just na proud lang yun ko. I got super proud and a little teary-eyed na talagang they had so many nice things to say about Butuan City. They had
Hmm.
so many nice things to say about Caraga region na kanabitaw the media did not catch. Kanabitaw, like, they really, like, what we are doing here for the rebels, like how we are dealing with all of these anti-insurgency actions between the AFP and the PNP, like, that was just for me, because I was invited, so I did not post about it, but I just had to share it ba na our mayor was being told, like, even also Governor Dale Corvera, who heads our IATF here, kanabitang gi-commend me. We got commended by the people, the secretaries of these agencies, for doing a good job. And then you don't see them gloat bitaw. Like, you don't, as in yun, I felt so proud ba nga, hala no, kanang, at par me sa NCR and even better, kanang ana bitaw nga feeling. Like,
Hmm.
you don't know how that means to me, ha. Na, we belong to Region 13, we're not exactly the richest, and we're not exactly the best when it comes to because of insurgency, but to be told, to be visited, to be given time, and to hear the secretary speak, when DILG Secretary Anyo spoke about how we are dealing with things here in Butuan City and Caraga in general, maka-proud lang
Hmm.
na yeah, that's why I have sorry. That's why sometimes I feel bad for other people who hate the government so much, because I have to also understand that maybe their LGU is useless. Maybe they have a mayor who is trapo. Like, you have to also understand, Manggod, na their situation. Like ako, that's why I have nothing to complain about, because I love our LGU. I'm very proud to be from Butuan, and I would never deny that. So
I think, Miss
that's I
Jam, at this point, we've already established na hindi sila gano'n kadami rin kasi yung mga parating
I know.
na,
Yes,
na
yes, I know.
nagbabati sa gobyerno. Maingay lang talaga sila. Gaya sa ating chat room ngayon, marami kang mga fans na meron sila mga choice words for you. Hinabol ka talaga from Twitter hanggang dito. Oh. Yung mga trolls mo, Miss Jam, nandito sila lahat ngayon. Mukhang meron yatang budget para pamasko ang mga trolls mo.
Well, I think they need attention. They need attention. That's very sad, no?
Nakakatawa. Una-una, ito yung lesson on PR for the trolls who are using this platform so that they can para magkalat ng kanilang lagim para asarin si Miss Jam.
Sorry.
Wala pong makikinig po sa inyo pag minumura niyo yung tao or iniinsulto ninyo. Lalong naiinis lang sa inyo. Kaya kahit na paulit-ulit kayo dyan, on repeat pa ninyo yung mga messages nyo dyan ng pagmumura, ay wala pong natatawa lang po kami sa inyo kasi pinataasan lang po ninyo ang engagement ng video na to.
Thank you.
Diba?
Yes.
Lalo lang dumadami engagements, lalong yung reach lalong lalawak. So salamat sa mga troll na
No, really, yes. Thank you to all the trolls. You've given me such a huge platform. Like, you've made me super trending. And because I became super trending, so many people wanted to donate and have donated to my causes. And now I have more packs to give to families until New Year. So thank you po. Sa lahat po ng hate ninyo, love po ang dumarating sa akin. So ingat, wag kayong ma-stroke.
Hindi, kaya naman yan sila, kaya ka naman napapansin ng mga yan, Miss Jam, kasi lumalaki yung audience mo, dumadami yung followers mo, tsaka sila, nasa-threaten sila sa popularity mo. Kasi marami nakikinig sa iyo, maraming talagang humahanga sa iyong italino at kagandahan.
Thank you po.
At di hamak naman na wala sa kalingkingan mo yung mga tinatapat nila sa iyo, 'di ba? So nakakatawa na lang talaga. So yung mga diyan, yung mga boss ninyo na inuudyok kayo na mag-troll sa aming mga platform ay sabi sa mga boss mo, mag-isip-isip naman sila. Galingan naman nila yung kanilang mga strategy kasi hindi po umuubra yan ngayon. 4 years na po na presidente si Duterte, hindi pa rin nyo napapatalsik kahit sa kung anong mga ninyo, mga black propaganda ninyo at saka yung mga kalokohan. Diyos ko Lord, ano naman kayo? Please.
Nasagot ko lang.
In English lang, in English pa, Jam, grow up.
Well, they won't grow up. I think they have really showed that they really are incapable of growing up. So let's just not. It's funny kasi when they try to disturb my peace, but they try to disturb somebody's peace, I know myself very well. It's impossible that you can write the script to my life when I know myself very well. Right. You insult my physical appearance, it won't matter to me. You tell me, like, their newest hear it was, nagpahimo daw kong ilog, gibayaran ko no sa taxes sa Pilipinos. Hoy, pag-sure mo diha, oy! Hoy! No.
Crazy. Ad hominem kasi the way the way ad hominem works is it's supposed to hurt your feelings. When it doesn't, then there's a problem with your tactic, 'di ba? Kakaluoy na lang
sorry ha. Since the very start of this whole thing, the bashers and the haters, there's this thing mangyud that I do. If you don't read it, it won't affect you. If you block it out, it won't affect you. If you turn off comments, it won't affect you. And it has worked so well. Good. Nga sila, they've made me trending, na-stroke. I hope yun nga wag namatay sa ila sa kasuko sa ako. Because, like, I will not.
Yeah, this is just an advice to Miss Jam, if I may interject to what you're saying. Kaya kung may mga bata ro na naminaw, Kaya you know what? Grabe talaga yung effect ng social media sa kabataan, di ba?
Yes, I
Mabash
agree.
lang sila, mabully lang sila, sama na ng
Yeah, they
loob
feel bad
nila.
na. That's
'Di ba? May
true.
mga ibang mga bata pa diyan. So sa
Magpakamatay
Amerika,
pa
'di ba,
dude. Yeah.
nagpapakamatay pa dahil lang
Yeah.
nabully sa social media. Ang best approach po diyan, pag meron kang mga basher, unang-una hindi ka naman pwedeng hawakan ng mga 'yan eh. Kahit na insultuhin ka niyan sa social
Amen.
media, hindi naman nakakaapekto 'yan. Ikaw lang yung nag-iisip.
Yes.
Ikaw lang yung
Yes.
nagpapaapekto.
It's
Tingnan mo
all
si
in
Miss.
here. Yes.
Oh, kaya magandang role model si Miss Jam Magdo. Miss Jam Magdo nagsimula ng kanyang mga vlogs just to express her
Yeah.
ideas, her feelings, and that's what social media is all about, really. To
Mhm.
be able to have the freedom to express what you think, what you know,
Yes.
how you feel, and then it's up to people to decide whether or not they accept that, diba? So
Exactly.
happens that your
Yes.
ideas resonate with so many people out there, especially the supporters of the president. And that talaga eats them up, itong mga bashers mo. Kasi tingin nila kasi pag ininsulto ka nila at en masse, kasi may kita mo pare-parehas na yung mga pangalan, pang limang
I
tao lang
know.
yata yan na
They say the
inuulit-ulit lang yung
same
mga,
thing. Nothing is
di
new.
ba?
Oh my gosh.
Oo.
They're not even
So,
creative. So,
exactly, parang ano na yun, template na yun eh.
yeah,
Insult
it's
mo yung
copy
itsura mo,
pasting. Yeah.
tapos
True.
sasabihin na ganito ka, bayaran ka, when hindi nila naisip na sila naman yung bayaran. Tapos pag
True.
sinasabi na, ano sinasabi nila, na ginamit daw nila mo taxpayers money para paayos yung ilong mo, hindi nila naisip yung nagbabayad sa kanila para mag-troll, yung mga yun,
Exactly. It's
mga
exactly
kurakot
doing
dati
that.
yun, na nawalan ng power ngayon, gusto nilang ikunin yung power, kaya nag-hire sila ng mga gaya nila.
True. No,
So that's kind of ironic.
honestly, honestly, like they posted my before and after picture, and I'm like, who made that before and after picture? I did. So you think you're gonna use that against me, or the post that I had where I posted the picture of me and VP Lenny from 2015, 5 years ago? Really? Parang, what is up? Like, you think that's gonna hurt me? Tapos isa pa, that's what I say. Keep on saying to people na you can hurt me on the internet, it doesn't matter. But if you come for me in real life, be prepared to lose your life because I will really defend myself and my son. As in, wag kayong magkamali. I will let you know right now, taga Mindanao ako. And I
Pero
always, di
Pero,
ba?
alam mo, Miss Jam, let's make use of your perception, your very acute perception of reality. Ang maganda kasi sa mga mga banat mo sa social media ay talagang tagos yung mga mensahe mo eh. Kaya marami kang
Naman
admirers.
sinasadya. Yun ba?
But kung ano yung mga gustong sabihin ng karamihan
Yes,
ay
I agree.
nalalabas mo, kaya marami kang mga tagahanga,
People do say that. People
'di
do
ba?
say that.
Um,
And I'm grateful. I'm very grateful. Actually, one other thing lang napansin ko ron ba, they pit me against people. Kanabitong paaway-awayon bitaw. Like, they create, sorry ha, I just wanna say, I'm not manggod maldita if I am not being provoked. Dili manggod ko, like, sometimes, nagmaldita magid ko, you've seen it. You know, na magid ko yung mga ginatubag. However, giunhan manggod ko. You know, giunhan ko eh. Pero if like now na amagit sila katong ingon nimo nga they pit against me na sila yung murag na sila ilang version sa anti-government nga ilang giana sa I know who she is actually. I think I realize now who she is. And I already said it na I have nothing against her. I absolutely have nothing against her personally. Kay syempre we are, in different, levels or different sides of the spectrum when it comes to I'm pro-government, she's anti-government. However, but if she has a personal attack sa ako and she really deliberately insults me, ay magtigi jud mi ani jud. Ing ana naman good. That's how simple. Ing ana lang ko, like, people should stop pitting us with each other because this is not a kindergarten, playground. I don't conduct myself like that. I always, like, with the bashers, I only pick the people I want to pick on. I don't always, I don't make my life about negativity and, picking fights with people. That's not, no, sorry.
Yeah, but that's
Bahala
part of
kayo.
the territory yata, Miss Jam eh. Like, there's this guy here that obvious troll. There's a Franco there somewhere in our message board now who keeps on repeating his nonsensical messages about the DDS, kuno, and
Mm.
you
Mm.
and whatnot, diba? But they're ano eh, they're he keeps on saying that DDS people are stupid when what he's doing is actually
It's
stupid.
stupid. Yes.
So that's the irony of the ano eh, the yung
Yeah, they
tinatawag
call us
natin
they
yung
call us
tinatawag natin
bobo,
ano,
they call us, they call us all these names. However, it reflects who they are. Like, that's exactly who they are. Their logic nasa ilang lapalapa. I don't really understand
no,
that.
yeah, because the simple-minded people kasi think when you call people names that will hurt them.
Exactly. I know.
That
I
they
know.
have power over you if they can call you
No,
names
they don't.
or on ano na masama, tawagin kang yun na nga mga bobo, hindi
Tama.
nila naisip na wala namang ano yun epekto at mas lalong naiinis lang sa yung mga
Yeah.
taong tinatawag mong bobo at hindi talaga sila makikinig sa So kung ang purpose mo talaga is to change minds, to change hearts, you're doing a poor job doing that. Diba? That's why when you set about that idea of they got it all wrong, their strategy, their tactics, meron talaga, it holds water. Now,
Yes.
I want this discussion na natin ngayon, Miss Jam, tonight na kasi parang pre-Christmas na natin to na
Yes.
conversation, di ba? Sa totoo lang, maraming talagang regalo. Advance na yung mga regalo ni Presidente sa atin at ng administrasyon na to. In the last 4 years, notwithstanding the fact na maingay yung posisyon at dami
Yes.
kabalastugan na ginagawa para lang siraan yung administration,
Yes.
ay marami pa rin
Yes.
nagagawa yung administrasyon.
Amen.
And you know what? Actually, I have first-hand experience of testimonial mga testimonials coming from people who used to live in areas that used to be drug infested. So
Yes.
we did
Same with us. Yes.
we went to an area in Quezon City called Kulyat. This was in 2017, if I'm not mistaken. And what we did there was to interview people. Now, Kulyat in Quezon City, if you're not familiar with it, Jam, used to be drug infested. Sobrang dami drug lord dyan. And the funny thing is, when I started interviewing some of the policemen who were escorting us in that area, sabi nila, "Sir, alam mo ba dito sa Kulyat, hindi kami pumapasok kasi it's a compound. And in the compound, talagang highly dense na population. Marami mga nakatira doon. At sabi ng police, alam mo, sir, hindi kami pumapasok dito kasi delikado. And even the cab drivers, pag sinabi mo, pupunta ka ng Kulyat, hindi papayag. Dahil delikado sa hold-up, delikado sa mga addict, ganon-ganon. So, in other words, so in 2017, all of a sudden, when President Duterte came into power, that area became safe.
Yes. Yes.
Nawala lahat ng mga drug lord. Nawala lahat ng mga drug pusher. At
Amen.
kahit na-interviewin mo yung mga kapitbahay, mga nakatira, mga residente dito, doon, makikita mo talaga sa mga mukha nila, laki daw talaga ng pagbabago. Ngayon, I'm just using Kulyat as an example because the biggest talagang contribution to where we are right now, and the reason why we have the president in the administration has a 91% approval rating is because of the fact that majority of the people who live in these areas that used to be frightening, dangerous, are now
Yes.
safe.
Amen.
And we feel it. And if you go around, pag sumakay ka ng taxi, sumakay ka ng tricycle, sumakay ka ng jeepney sa Metro Manila, isa lang sasabihin sa'yo. Hindi pa to magkakilala, kahit pumunta iba-ibang syudad, iisa lang ang kwento sa'yo. Sir, dito daming addict. I was just recently in Quezon City to go to Atelier, and I was talking to the mechanic who was fixing my car. Sabi ko, itong area na to kasi very rin masikip rin yung lugar nila eh. Sabi ko, dito ba dati maraming yung panahon ni Pinoy, marami bang mga addict dito? Sir, sa tapat lang ng bahay namin, may mga pusher dyan, may mga drug lord. Tapos nung pumasok daw si Duterte, nawala yung mga drug lord. So, alam mo, kahit na mag-troll pa kayo dyan, kung ano pang sasabihin ninyo na yung mga salin-salin ni Presidente, pakita nyo, alam nyo, marami talagang nangyaring maganda.
Yes.
At yung mga mahihirap nating mga kababayan, sila mismo magsasabi, "Uy,
Yes.
wala na
Yes.
kami, hindi na kami takot maglakad sa kalsada. Wala na yung
That's true.
sasaksak sa'yo or papagtripan ka dahil
Yeah.
punong-puno ng adik yung aming kalye." Ngayon nawala,
Yeah.
nabawasan, marami rin nagbagong
Yes.
buhay dahil kay Digong. Ngayon ang
Yes.
worry natin, Miss Jam, kasi 1 year and a half na lang before 2022, paano
Yes.
pag nawala na si PRRD?
This is the thing kasi we know the brand of politics kasi when it comes, because there are two sides. Although I don't have a color, I'm neutral. There are two sides. There are the yellows and there are the red. I don't know. I don't want to say the reds because it must mean communism, but you know what I mean, right? So
Hmm.
it's very simple. Wag na lang talagang bumalik yung mga plastic, mga manggagamit, mga traidor into power. That simple.
Kilala
Anybody
natin kung
but
sino yun.
them. You know? Anybody
Oh.
but them. Kasi we tried Decente. We tried super plastic. We tried perfect, will never curse in public kind of leadership. And it did nothing for the country. It only advanced terrorism. It only, it only progressed and it only put the Philippines in a bigger shithole. And we don't want that to happen. That's why as early as now, I was hoping that, Sara Duterte would step into her father's shoes and make it hers. But again, she hasn't really voiced that out, and she's already said that she loves Davao so much and she might just stay in Davao. But that's what I'm saying. Na, it's really up to whoever is on the other side of the spectrum. It's really up to that person, whoever that may be. As long as dili na gyud makabalik, hindi na makakabalik talaga yung mga tao na totoong problema at salot ng Pilipinas. So, ganun lang talaga naman, ganun. Ako, personally, I only said that I was gonna endorse Sara Duterte for 2022. Siya lang. Anybody else that would want me to endorse them, it depends. It really depends. Because for example, Gibot Eudoro might run for senator. I hope he will. I hope he will. So, he certainly has my support. I also hope that Manny Piñol, oh my gosh, I hope he also will consider running for senator because again, he too has my support. So, in ana lang magud, it's like that for me, Ron. Now, when it comes to politics now, I see that I can really speak and say na, when it comes to like choices and everything like that, I'm not I'm not a turncoat. Hindi ako balimbing. It just so happened na I used to like VP Lenny Robredo because I loved Jessie Robredo. I loved her husband. I saw, his leadership, how it also transformed Naga. But I forgot na hindi na mamana sa mag-asawa ang galing ng isa. Yun yung mali ko. Hindi naman na kasi I'm sure Mayor Jessie was authentic because he really did change Naga. He really created all these wonderful things in Naga. All that, diba? And I had hope that since he married Lenny, that it was the same thing. And then what I see now is exactly the opposite of that. That's why I call her out. You know what I mean? Like, people do change. Supporters do, have the right. That's why it's a democracy because we can see what works and what doesn't, diba? And that's why
I have
I
a
said
theory.
that if
I actually have a
I'm sorry.
theory there, Jam. Sorry to interrupt you.
Yeah, no problem.
I have friends kasi I have good friends na who are from the other side. Mga Dilawan good, hardcore na to a point na ina-unfollow ako sa Facebook kahit na matali kong kaibigan na naiinis pag nakita siya ng post na pro administration. And alam mo ang na-notice ko talaga dahil very tight po yung echo chamber na tinatawag natin, ng Dilawan echo chamber. Grabe, sobrang it's so tight that anybody who says something about that's against the administration, it reverberates all throughout the Yellow Kingdom. And
Exactly.
if you notice, even the smartest of the bunch, yung mga smart friends mo na Dilawan, they're saying the same thing. They're regurgitating
Exactly.
the
Exactly.
the slogans of the opposition. Na parang they didn't even think about it. Like parang kung ano yung sinasabi nung opposition, rin yung
Sila
sinasabi
lahat,
nila.
ganon.
And I think that's the case with with Lenny. Lenny, I think, is a nice woman.
I agree.
I think
I
she's a
agree.
nice woman.
Yes.
Unfortunately, she is surrounded by people.
No, she also sold herself to that Mangodron. We cannot
Yeah.
blame her also. You know,
Hindi
we
kasi
cannot
she
blame her also.
and she took
That's
upon
why
herself kasi ano rin I think she has a responsibility as the leader of the opposition to
yeah,
to say what the opposition stand is. She represents them eh. So even if meron siya even if she wavers or maybe she's just I guess ano parang na you're if you're surrounded by people who are saying the same thing and then you start
you become
believing that
that. Yeah.
that idea,
Yeah.
'di ba? Yun ang issue dyan. Kasi alam mo, may mga narinig na good things about the Lenny before. Yung asawa pa niya
No,
si
Ron, I
Jessie
met
Ricardo.
her baya. I
Mm.
met her. So, for me, when I met her, Manggod, I really felt a sense of, that's why I took a photo with her. I even shook her hand. Nakita pa ito in my post.
Mm.
She really was my vice president. Because, I had a brief encounter with her. And even when I reposted that recently, and I even said, na, ma'am, I don't hate you. I don't. I just don't like what you are doing. Like, for example, recently, like, remember she was coordinating stuff for the floods here in Mindanao, and then I found out that her biggest contribution to coordinating things was nag that she coordinated the rise from NFA. So I'm like, that's NFA. That's rise of the government. That's not hers. Hindi niya pwedeng angkinin yan. Kasi sa NFA yan. All she did was call a person when that same person already knows what he or she must do. Because the
Right.
NFA really has rise all over the Philippines.
Tama.
So yun
Mm-mm.
yung point ko na parang ako, na hindi nga ako purok president, I raised money for the flood victims. 'Di ba? Yun yung sinasabi ko na you know what, or like the shelters that she built, the shelters. Yun yung sinabi ko na I built a new house for an old person in exactly the same time as you creating these little CR-like structures, and you're vice president and I'm a nobody. Yun lang naman yung point ko na pagtutulong po tayo sa kapwa po nating Pilipino, gamitan naman po natin ng konting heart. 'Di ba?
Mm.
Kung pipicturean mo na lang din, kung i-video mo na lang din, kung may sangkaterbang media ka na lang din, make sure na yung tutulungan mo, mabago man sila. Yun lang naman
Bagay,
kasi,
bagay na bagay nga yung slogan sa kanya ng nung dating commercial ng Sprite.
magpakatotoo ka.
Magpakatotoo ka.
No, no,
Di,
that's actually the thing, Ron. Like, when people also said, oh, ikaw, mahilig sa kagpa-picture. Ikaw, no. I post pictures because, number one, the money that I use to donate things are not mine. So, I have to document. Number two, I post pictures because each picture has a story. Each person I meet has a story. Like yesterday, I was in a red area here in Butuan City. When I say red area, literal yun ron nga, ang mga rebuilde nga sa bukid, maog ito ilang
mm.
lugar. I'm not allowed to say where it is ha. But imagine ron nga, I wore a helmet yun kay pagpadulong because red area yun siya. Unya, hapit na ba ang ilang anniversary?
Oh,
Anniversary na biya nila sa 26, di ba?
na.
So nagsunod-sunod na gidron, as in literally ha, gahapon, a few hours before mi niabot in that area, nagbuto-buto pa. Kay nagsugod na sila og padungog ba nga, oh, we're here. Like, hey, we're woodland friends, we're here. As in, sila nga area gidron, we have that here in Butuan City. So, that's what I'm saying ba nga, these yellow people or yellow ilks and the cockroaches, if you only contribute positively to the country, I think I will not, di ba, I think you will not feel super bad about me. Kaya di
Right.
ba, that's what I'm saying naman, Godron, nga you call the DDS bobo, you call them all these really mean names, but they are the most decent people I have ever met. People from all over the world sending me donations, sending me money, sending me messages. They are real people, Ron. You have OFWs, and that's what I'm saying. Wala ko kakita og yellow tard or dilawan who's doing the same thing. Who is inspired by Lenny or whoever it is in that side nga will do will do good for the country. That's just what I'm pointing at ba. Nga, I'm sorry if I'm pro-government, but because of me being pro-government, I am inspired to help. I am
Right.
inspired to work with the government because there's this beautiful lady. Her name is CJ Hero. She's in media also, and girl crush gina nako siya. And she was the one who said it perfectly. Na, in order for you to create change, you must participate in the government that runs the Philippines.
Mhm.
You must, di ba? You must participate. And that's what I've been doing since 2016.
Alam mo,
It just,
Jam, good thing na na-mention mo yan, kasi there's a very important, um, hopefully, um, because it's really hard to change government. You know that, right?
yes,
I mean, we're talking
agree.
about hundreds of thousands of employees who work for the government, and President Duterte is just one person. And even the good
Exactly.
cabinet,
Exactly.
even the good cabinet secretaries like Tugade and Villar and
Lorenzana!
Lorenzana and
I
diba,
love Sectel.
Secretary Anyo. They're just a
Yes.
few, ano lang yun kukonti lang sila
Yes. Yes.
compared to the thousands of employees. The problem with that
Amen.
is, ito ang problema ng ating sistema. The administration always changes and it's
Amen.
coterminous. So the
Yes.
cabinet members, the good ones, after 6 years will have to leave office.
Yes.
And what's left behind are the plantillas. The plantillas, no matter who the administration is, will
Will be
always
the
be
same.
there, will be the same. So if there is a well-entrenched, say, syndicate, alleged
Which I
syndicate,
also mentioned in my video last night.
'di ba? Kunyari, merong problema sa customs, may problema sa sa
Daan na
Bureau
yun
of
na. It's
Immigration.
there. It's in, yeah. It's
Well,
intrinsic
entrenched
in
na yan
them.
masyado. Ang kanilang mindset is, the whoever the president is, hindi kami mawawala.
Amen.
So, kung hindi kami mawawala,
Why
papalipasin lang namin
change?
si President Duterte, kunyari magpapakabait kami, pero on the side, we're still gonna be doing the same shtick. And
Amen.
kaya nga, may lumilitaw pa rin na corruption, nahuhuli pa rin dahil
Yes.
marami pa na hindi tumitigil. Kasi alam
Yup.
nila, hindi sila pwedeng bantayan 24/7.
Amen.
Ngayon,
Amen.
the only way we can change that as yung yung rational thinking lang, yung medyo pag mag-isip tayo ng mabuti, the only way na mababago yan is pag binago natin yung mga tao nagpapatakbo na
Amen.
nasa plantilla ngayon sa gobyerno.
Amen.
Paano natin gagawin yan? Lahat ng mga mabubuting tao na gusto magtrabaho sa gobyerno ay dapat magsama-sama. At sila
Amen.
dapat kumbaga dapat dumami yan. Paano dadami?
Amen.
Then the people who are well-meaning, like what you said, Miss Jam, the true activism that we need from people right now is participative. Kailangan mong
Yes.
sumali,
Amen.
mag-participate ka sa system.
Yes.
Be part of the system. When you're part of the
Yes.
system, then you
Yes.
can do changes. Kaya
Yes.
sabi ko, Miss Jam, ang importante pag nasa loob ka na, you have to find like-minded people like you. Para,
Always.
kasi kung
Always.
ikaw lang mag-isa, pwede kang mamatay. Alam mo ba
Yes.
yun? Kunyari, pag pumasok ka sa isang let's say sa customs, tapos medyo tiwalis ka, yung hindi ka mag-cooperate sa kanilang kalokohan,
Yeah.
pwede ka nilang patayin. Di ba?
True.
Ang laking pera involved dyan eh. So ang
Yeah.
importante na dumami yung mga grupo na yan na well-intentioned at hindi magpapakurap at padamihin yan hanggang yung mga matatanda, yung mga lumang tao dyan ay
Alis.
unti-unting maalis.
Yes.
'Di ba?
Yes.
Tapos ang papalit ay mga profesional. Yung talagang ang kanilang adhikain ay public service. Yun ang
Amen.
kailangan po natin. Hindi lang si President Duterte ang kayang gumawa niyan.
No. Hindi niya kaya
You,
yan. No.
as a Filipino, as a citizen, will have to step up. Kasi without
Exactly.
you,
That's the reason why we're a democracy. That's
correct.
yun yung sa akin eh. We are in a democracy. It is up to us to use that democracy in the right way. Yun eh. It's the right way. We are so lucky. We have the chance to participate in government. We are so lucky we get a say. We are so lucky that it is so easy to volunteer for government agencies, as easy as walking up to their offices and volunteering and asking what we can do for them. That's what I keep on saying to my BBs, the people who support me. You can go to your Purok president. You don't have to go to him just during the elections. You go to him, you say, hey, how can I help? Or to your barangay, hey, how can I help? Or to your government, if you have if you have a concejal, if you know the mayor, if you know the vice mayor, okay, what are your programs? What kind of reforms are you doing? What can I do to help? That's what I did here in Butuan City. I'm a relative nobody. The person, actually, it was just lucky. I was just lucky because I was in media at that time. And when my tito became city director, city director, he asked for me because I felt very strongly about gangsterism. But who made that idea? That was the idea of President Duterte on his crackdown. All we had to do was just change it a little bit and made it our way. But still, it was that thinking, Manggod, na we need to participate and make programs as our own. That's what I
Mm.
always keep telling people, that before all of your attention, I am already Jam Magno. And not because, not because of anything, but I've already always participated in government. I've always showed up for people when they, when they needed somebody to speak. Because my role always, Ron, even when I was in radio, and you can ask my mentor this, I was
Right.
always the person that made people understand things. I was always that person. That was the messaging in my radio show. That was the
Mm.
messaging in my shows on TV, that I explained things to people. Like, I can talk to a taho vendor, I can talk to a tricycle driver, and speak his language, and I can talk to the mayor, I can talk to a senator, I can talk to the president. So it really just is like that. And that's what I'm saying, Ban. If you really are a good person, there is no need for you to feel small. And there is also no need for you to feel bigger or better than anyone else, because we are all Filipinos. We all want the best for this country. But how are we gonna get the best for this country if we are not united? If we don't want to, meet in the middle and say, okay, so I believe differently, but okay, we want the same thing. So let's vote in. Diba? Wala manggoy, like, that's what I'm saying, Ron Bana. I'm not against activism. I'm not against activists. I love activists. I follow activists, actually. However, activism here in the Philippines have been bastardized.
Mm.
It
Yeah.
has changed completely because activists here, number one, they carry guns. They become terrorists. They recruit students so that they can fight a war that is senseless and useless. Number two, the activists here are negatrons. You don't hear their messages, you don't hear their pinaglalaban because nauuna ang insulto, nauuna ang pagmumura, nauuna ang 'di ba? Nauuna talaga the negativity nauuna instead of the smart, well placed, alam mo yun, well placed statements about their fight, what they're fighting for. Next, they are paid. They are paid propagandists. They buy media. They buy all these outlets. And that's what I don't like, because it's not activism anymore pag binabayaran ka.
Right.
All you are is a propagandist. You are a propagandist being paid. So yun ang sabi ko, wag mo akong bahiran ng ganyan. Because I'm not an influencer. Because para sa akin, I'm just a normal person, and I just happen to have a smart mouth. And I happen to like TikTok, so that's why I do TikTok. However, if you take TikTok and all my social media accounts, like what they are trying to do right now, I'm still gonna be the same person. I'm
Mm.
still going to go to the police tomorrow and still do things with them. I'm still going to call the mayor and say, hey, Tito Ronivic, what can I do for you next year?
Right.
Ganun lang eh. That's what I'm saying, na if you think, that's what they're trying to do with me, Ron, diba? They're trying to silence me, they're trying to, take everything. And I'm like, what? You're trying to
Well,
cancel somebody
kasi
who,
Miss Jam, it's a game for them kasi. When it comes to, kasi pag if it's a game, that means somebody has to lose, somebody has to win, and somebody has to lose. And they think by silencing you, that's a move, a strategic move, to win the
nope,
battle. The problem is they've been trying this game they've been playing this game for a very long time, but people are
and
sick
have
and tired of
lost.
it. And the operative word here is really authenticity. If
Yeah,
a person is real, you can sense it. Even the dumbest person can sense. Even a dog can sense if you're a bad person or not.
exactly.
'di ba?
Amen.
So ang ano diyan, ang mensahe diyan, you cannot silence people by insulting them, by calling them names.
Amen.
That's
Amen.
definitely not the answer. That's not the way. Engage people with your wit, your
Yes.
intelligence, and
Mm.
proper discourse. Kasi
Amen.
itong dilawan kasi, pag nag-start ka makipag-usap sa kanila in a very sensible manner,
Yeah, they attack you.
they'll attack
They
you kaagad.
nitpick. Yeah.
Tapos, a favorite
They
platform
engage
nila,
in debate.
Twitter.
Diba?
Tapos,
Parang,
occasionally, napapapadpad sila sa Facebook kasi sabi nila, dapat dumami rin tayo sa Facebook kasi ang lakas-lakas ng DDS sa Facebook. Dapat nandun rin tayo. So you see these characters that you see on our message board na lumalabas na pare-parehas ng pinagsasabi. Akala nila, porket inuulit-ulit nila, sinasabi nila ay may kinig yung mga tao. Nakakatawa. Ngayon, speaking of people are messaging, Miss Jam,
okay.
let me just acknowledge a few people here who are on our message board. Sabi ni Connie Finular Rivera, Merry Christmas, Miss Magno. We love you. Yun.
I love you too.
Tapos sabi ni Cora Tirando, yes, Miss Jam, gustong-gusto ko mag-watch sa iyong mga TikTok. Tagos sa puso ng pinatamaan mo. Hayaan mo na yung mga bashers dyan sila masaya. Isa din akong supporter sa ating presidente dahil binoto ko siya. At taga Misamis Oriental ako. God bless. Diba? Hi, Chris Valin Bere. Thank you for sending us this. What's that?
What's that?
It's like a face with
Yeah.
a reindeer crown, something like that. Loser Lux. Wag nang hayaan makabalik ang mga Aquino. Walang kwenta at mga magnanakaw yan. Mark Anthony Bautista, as the leader, she should have her own stand and not just echo the stand of the Yellow Kingdom. Pertaining to Mrs. Robredo. Greg Nalzaro, hello, Merry Christmas Jam, and sir, good afternoon. Salute sa usapan about against government. Tama, Miss Jam, yes. PJ Tuico, Merry Christmas to you. Si Jean Ampi, so true. Greg Snalzaro says, I support you. Ro Canesilo, I haven't seen you, Miss Jam Magno, for a while. I miss your TikTok. Karon nakakita sa imo balik. Si Banat Bay is watching. Si Banat Bay is watching. Anong gulo daw? Sabi, anong gulo ito? Sabi ni Banat Bay.
Hey.
Napanood yung banter niyo. Tawang-tawa ako dun sa inyong conversation ni Banat Bay. He's a good man. Ito si Byron. Sobrang bait na tao to.
Yeah.
Ano lang siya, talagang
ayaw nila sa kanya kasi he's aggressive, he has his own way, he has his own brand.
Kasi naman, alam mo what you and Banat Bay have in common is you are sick and tired of the old system. You are sick and tired of fake people, of yung mga nagmamarunong, mga elitista, the people who look down on other people. That's what you hate. And that's why he has this persona called Banat Bay. Kasi gusto niyang banatan talaga to mga walang hiya sa gobyerno, sa opposition, dahil wala silang kino-contribute sa
wala, really, nothing but noise.
Sa ating bansa. Puro distraction and talagang pangpagulo lang talaga sila, di ba? Yun yung problema dyan. So Banat Bay, thank you for watching. Sabi ni Buboy Malangge, remember Buboy, kasama natin siya last week, nanonood ako. Jam, you had me at yellow cockroaches. Sabi ni Buboy.
Wait lang. First of all, kasi I really disagree with Yellow Kingdom. They are nothing but a purok. I'm sorry talaga. No. Purok lang po kayo. Actually, ano ba mas sitio? Yellow sitio lang po kayo, besh. Yan lang po kayo. Wag po, kingdom, no. Hindi. Sitio lang po kayo. Yung pinakamaliit po na unit sa Pilipinas, puwera sa barangay. Hindi nga kayo barangay. So, sorry.
Hindi nga daw. May meron pa silang mga counter-argument about that eh. Di ba 91% kayo? Ba't takot kayo sa 3%? Hindi po takot sa 3%. Ano lang kasi, masyado lang maingay.
Takot sa 3%!
Alam mo, logic dictates when you Logic dictates if you say something, you should back it up with facts. Well, the fact of the matter is, ever since that you've been trying to overthrow this government, nothing has happened. How many
Amen.
times have you gone to EDSA and palanggot lang na tao nandoon sa harap ng ano ng EDSA sign?
All you got is COVID, baby. All you got
Na
is COVID
nakakatawa.
now.
Kahit na nga yung sinarado yung ABS-CBN that could have been a culminating activity, a catalyst to a revolution, nothing even happened.
Nothing.
Meron pa kayong Angel Aquino doon sa ano sa plataforma nag-ano, 'di ba?
No, ako
Naghimag
personally, I did not speak on that. I did not speak on that because I honestly felt like I was not informed enough. And because honestly, I did not speak on that because I have friends. I don't know if you have mentioned this, but I have really good friends who worked for ABS-CBN and who lost their jobs because of what
si
happened.
Buboy. Sa ating kasama natin si Buboy
even
comes
Buboy,
from
yes.
ABS-CBN.
So
Oo.
that's just what I'm saying also, Bana. You know, that really was a catalyst for a revolution. But honestly, to me, Manggot, it did not affect me as much because number one, I really, ever since the world began, I don't have my own TV. Honestly, I have never had my own TV. I have a ref right there. That's the only thing I own na talagang akin. Appliance na akin. I don't have a phone, so hindi ako apektado kung di ko makita yung shows nila. When it comes to news, I listen kasi news yun nga, wala nga akong TV. But when they also featured me, siguro that was the only time lang that I would watch the news. And then, alam mo yun, yung I grew up to the news. Tapos, it was my lola actually who felt affected. Kasi my lola talaga, ABS-CBN woman, as in all the maalaala mo kayas, all the shows from morning till night, talagang pinapanood niya yan. But I saw that when they were shut down, my lola was like, okay, I'll just watch AXN. Ganun lang. And I felt na ma-affected yung lola ko because she really super loyal. Like, they have 2 TVs sa bahay, sa room nila ha. They have 2 TVs. And that's both ABS. As in, nakakatawa, ganyan sila. Both ABS yan. And then Lolo changes the channel kasi he loves tennis. So, mag-change yan siya ng konti. Or that, minsan, it's ABS and GMA, nakakatawa. But now, when ABS was shut down, my lola's like, okay, AXN.
Pero alam mo,
diba,
Miss Jam, yung since na-bring up natin ng ABS-CBN, obviously wala naman let me clarify, no, si Angel Aquino wala naman Angel Locsin. Wala namang ano eh. I'm sure she has the best intentions why she expressed herself on a in public about what's happening kasi
I love her because we've worked together in 2009.
the good works she's been helping out in all the disasters,
yes.
diba? I mean, she doesn't really care what she looks like now because
my God. Yes, of course.
the most important thing is she's out there expressing her support for anything that will support people who were affected by yung mga natural calamities natin. So maganda yun, okay yun. Ang problema kasi sa mga tao na kagaya niya ay sinasakyan ng mga ibang elemento na gusto nilang magkaroon ng face yung opposition that people can latch on to.
To bounce off of, yes.
So yun lang dyan I find very difficult, no? Kasi we are talking about good people here and sometimes we can't help that we have very overly zealous supporters ng ating administration that who will who will actually attack anybody that they feel is saying something against the president. That's a given already. But ang importante just that we need to tell people to be more circumspect bago tayo mag-judge ng hindi kaya, mahirap pa. Is that an ability that needs to be developed?
No, I think it comes with age, Ron. It comes with experience. It comes with real life, like really, really trying to just, live your real life and be authentic and just be kind to other people and yourself. It really comes with that, And for me, kasi I realized ever since all this attention came to be, when I check the profiles of these people that, insult me and come for me and ganyan, I don't read their messages, I just look at their profiles. they're nobodies. Like they alam mo yun, like they don't seem to have love and happiness in their lives, and they don't have, alam mo yun, they just don't have anything that I feel make them better than me. So that's why it's sad ba na that's your supporters, that's your supporters, people who have absolutely no sense of self, who are not mature enough to have an adult conversation, who
Mhm.
actually are lazy and not even try to make a difference in this country for once, you know? And that's why I say, Bana, I that's why maybe I don't get affected by whatever they say about me, because parang really, that's really, alam mo yun, yung parang, 'di ba, they've already hit me, 'di ba? They've had their, their ogres and their, their their parrelevant gay guys trying to hit me with whatever they have. But I'm like, really, you're gonna come for me, you're gonna come at me, and you're gonna think that, diba, that it was even super fun, and that it was super fun to answer them, and I wasn't even making an effort. Like, it it's actually beyond me, and sometimes I like to do it, and but yun nga, not all of them who hit me I give attention to, kasi parang I'm not like that. I'm not shallow. I'm not pet. Sometimes I like to be petty because it's fun. But most of the time, I focus on my goal. My focus here is to show people that if you are on the right side, if you are pro Philippines, if you are pro government, you will really see the development and improvement that the Philippines has. You have to find it. You have to listen to whatever it is that we are saying, because it really is the truth. And if you want to see the development of the Philippines, don't follow Negatron accounts. Don't follow Philip, diba? Follow agency accounts. Follow like the PNP, or follow the AFP, or follow, the DOTR, or diba, the PCOO, diba? These, diba, how can you find the development of the Philippines if you find, diba, if you look for it in the Negatrons?
Pero alam
Diba?
mo, Miss Jam, I've mentioned this before. No, I have a theory. I have a theory. It's called uh, it's based on a movie called. I think I mentioned this before when we had this conversation about high fidelity. It's
Ah,
a
John
movie by
Cusack,
John
yes.
Cusack. But I call it the high fidelity principle because um, when people oppose you, the more people band together who share the same ideas. So if you have an opposing party always attacking you, people band together. That's why it's so that's our social media life is very it's very lively, active. It's so
Yes,
rich
yes.
in the last 4 years. It's because people are more involved because there are people who are always coming up with all these stupid lies about the
I
administration,
know.
right?
Yes,
And you
yes.
end up you're forced to actually say something about it because why would I let this lie? It's not even
Yeah,
true. It's so ridiculous. And I understand why karamihan sa ating mga mga supporters ni Presidente galit na galit kay VP Lenny
yeah,
dahil she started off on the wrong foot talaga noong 2016 eh. Or
yeah.
I think
She did.
early 2017. Alala mo yung lumabas siya sa I think sa ano to sa nagsalita siya sa I think this was United Nations Forum yata ito eh. And then she mentioned something about she sort of regurgitated or inulit-ulit lang niya yung propaganda, black propaganda on the administration about the EJ case. And then she used the 20,000 number yata of people who died because of EJK. Now
Yeah,
you are the vice president of the country and then
I
bigla na
know.
lang sasabihin mo to about our
Yeah,
country. Obviously,
yes,
that puts us in the bad light. Hindi lang yung
yes,
administration. 'Di
yeah.
ba? Anong sinasabi ng mga kaibigan natin na nakatira sa ibang bansa? Uy, okay lang kayo dyan? Parang nakakatakot sa
Exactly.
Pilipinas ha.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Marami bang patayan dyan? 'Di ba? I mean, if she's of sound mind and
She wouldn't
meron
say
siyang
that.
independent
She wouldn't.
ano, kumbaga meron siyang independent decision making on what she
Yeah,
wants to project about herself. She wouldn't say these things because first
I
of
know.
all, it's
It's
not
not true.
it's not true. And she
Yeah.
didn't even bother to research on it first before actually saying
Yes.
these things.
Yes.
She just took it hook, line, and sinker from her advisors. Sino ba itong mga
Yes. The
advisors na to?
speechwriters na I think are
Oh,
pro Duterte, secretly pro Duterte.
di kaya nga,
Sorry.
kaya siguro, kaya BP Lenny, wag po tayong magtataka kung bakit maraming galit sa inyo kasi paulit-ulit
Yes.
po yung mga stance ninyong
Yes,
ginagawa.
yes.
Yung
No, and
pandemic, ito
ano
yung
kasi,
pandemic na lang.
she's so,
Sino bang Saan ka nakakita ng Vice President, kahit anong bansa mag-mention ka, Vice President ng labas sa media?
I know, I
Ha?
know.
Kahit si
Yung
Pence nga sa,
papel.
di ba? Labo nun, men. Ngayon lang
No,
nakita
and
ng Vice President na talagang sobrang, wow, out there. Trying to
hindi.
portray
It's not the
herself
out
as,
there part eh. It's not the out there part that I'm trying to, kasi she might really want to, show people she's working. But it's more of, yung ex-senadora ka, di ba? Yung, alam mo yung, you really want it to be all about you. And you're just number 2. Alam mo yung ganun eh. Yun yung kinaiinisan ko na, you're number 2. I will repeat, ikaduha ra ka girl, ikalawa ka lang. Bakit ba lahat ng tao gusto mo talaga na naka-focus sa'yo, wala ka naman talagang ginagawa. Inaangkin mo lang yung ginagawa ng gobyerno na kunwari sa'yo, aka AFP. Pangalawa, di ba, lahat naman ng ginagawa mong tulong galing sa opisina mo, wala naman talagang, alam mo yun, walang positive change sa mga tao na tinulungan mo. So, yun yung sa akin lang ba, and ito talaga yung pinaka-ayoko, yung women empowerment, because ako talaga, I expected that at the very least. Because she's a mother and she has 3 daughters. So I was expecting that she would raise equally empowered women who will not play the victim card or who will not be bitchy. Alam mo yun, who will not be conniving and scheming and be decent, really decent women. Alam mo yung talagang may paninindigan ba? Pero Diyos me Lord, 'di ba? Yung parang really you are of that profession, you go to really good schools, but then again, alam mo 'yun, parang ganyan ka kapeti? Parang
oh, a classic example ng the DILAWAN propaganda machine. So nagkaroon tayo ng malaking insidente involving policeman, 'di ba?
yes.
Just recently. So may binaril na mag-ina at
Yes.
ngayon ay nakakulong na ngayon yung sarhento na ito
Yes,
na
double murder.
gumawa ng karumal-dumal na
Yes.
uh, na krimen
Yes.
just recently. Ngayon ano ngayon ang so nakita ito ng mga ng opposition, wow, okay, this is a
Yes.
big opportunity to connect this with the police and to
Yes.
attack the police
Yes.
establishment. Meron nga, nakita mo ba yung meme na lumabas? uh, I found this really funny. I hope this is not too. I think it's just it's funny in a way because it showcases the hypocrisy that's out there. I just want to show you this Miss Jam, no, itong post na to na shinare sa amin sa Viber group.
Okay. Where is it? Okay.
Can you see it? galit, galit na galit sa lahat ng pulis. Isa lang ang nagkasala. Bakit mong nag-jack si Jim Paredes? Nagalit ba kami sa Apo Hiking Society?
Amen. Amen. Amen.
Katawaan lang ha. We're not poking fun at the actual incident, but the things that people come
Yes,
up with
yes, that's what I mean.
in such,
With
it's
that
just
being
hilarious.
said, yes. No, with that being said kasi, they took what I said out of context. They said na I defended the police. Kanya. Wait. I made it very clear that the man should be answerable to his crimes. He committed crimes. However, do not take that small isolated incident and blow it up and use terms that have nothing to do with the situation. Like when they say police brutality, again, gusto nyo ba ng word lesson? When you say police brutality, first, he was not in the line of duty. He happened to be police, yes, but it was not in any way connected to his job. He simply used the gun to shoot the mag-ina, and yet it had nothing to do with his job as a policeman. It was a personal hidwaan that had nothing to do with anything about who they were and what they were doing. Next, they would say na police ang terorista. I will disagree with this vehemently because you're talking about my friends. You're talking about the people that, that I respect and that I, I work with every single day. And I don't see that. And besides, he already is put to justice. So what's, 'di ba? Yun yung sinabi ko, anong kinapuputok ng butsin niyo ulit? Na we agree on that same thing na mali yung ginawa niya. But if you, 'di ba, pag isahin niyo and now they're harping na, oh, who are we gonna call? When the protectors become the killers, bobo, you still call the police because they don't have a choice.
Actually,
They still,
Miss Jam, to support your argument, no, mas maganda kasi na we base it on facts. Kasi
yes,
ang problema kasi sa mga debate sa social media or arguments ay puro conjectures, yung
yes,
tinatawag na conjectures yung mga
yes,
pinapalabas. And kadalasan, second-hand information yung mga binibigay ng kabila
yes,
about what's been going on. So,
yes,
meron silang belief that this is the truth. And, tapos sabi kasi ng kaibigan ko, ganito daw ginagawa ng mga polis, pero hindi po nagsusupport yung data
no,
sa
yes,
mga sinasabi nila. Like, let me just show you, let me give you rundown a few numbers, no,
okay,
that I received from the DILG. Sabi kasi dito, sa announcement ni Secretary Anyo, ang since 2016, there have been 16,839 police officers penalized
yes,
under the
I know this,
PNP's
Kalawags, yes,
internal cleansing program
yes,
to weed
yes,
out scalawags among its ranks.
yep,
So medyo madami-dami na rin yan. 200 plus thousand ang police force eh. So
yes, yes, yes,
16,839 police
amen,
officers ang mga na. Of these number, 4,784 police have been dismissed from
yes,
service, while 8,349 were suspended and
yes,
1,803 were reprimanded. Now,
yes,
itong case nitong, ano ba pangalan nitong hayop na to? Yung nakulong?
Nuesca,
Nuesca. Itong si Nuesca kasi, meron siyang mga kaso talaga. Meron siyang
before,
dalawang
yes, I saw his rap sheet,
homicide
yes,
na anong tawag nito na dismiss dahil for lack of evidence. Ang problema
yes,
po ay hindi dahil sa kinokondone natin tong mga or they are protected. Though probably there's a possibility that some of them are protected by other scalawag
yes, yes,
officers
I agree.
na malalaking
Padrino,
tao,
yes,
mga padrino. But chances are rin, malaki rin po yung posibilidad na itong mga tao na to ay nagtitake advantage ng kahinaan ng ating justice system.
yeah. No, actually, Ron,
Even,
at
yeah.
yes, no, but the thing with me kasi, what I already said also in a video on TikTok, let me just share this. Kasi I
Mm-mm.
said na, instead of condemning the whole police force, why don't we, call for reform in their internal justice system?
Right.
Like, ako kasi Ron, I am aware of the AFP and how the AFP does things and how the PNP does things. And the justice system kasi in these agencies have stark differences. And what I want to explain to people is that instead of condemning the organization, why don't we encourage reform? 'Di ba? Because there needs to be reform. Na like
Oo.
if for example kasi from what I know kasi sa AFP, once you have an offense na talagang, like, even as simple as, kasi ako personally, recently nalaman ko na may sundalo, I will not say kung saan, nanakit lang siya ng babae ha, as in, sinuntok lang niya yung babae, nagka-black eye lang yung babae, he is dismissed. 16 years in service siya, dismissed. That's it. Ending. And I hope na ganyan sana sa PNP.
Mm.
Sana. Na
Mm-mm.
ganun ba gaano ba na first offense, if talagang, 'di ba, you used your gun or you used excessive force or whatever, if it's really up for dismissal, dismiss agad. dismiss agad. Alam mo yung ganun na we need, kasi yung the thing is kasi sa nakita ko, na yun nga, pinapalampas, hindi nila kasi nga may padrino system din sa PNP. Actually, sa lahat naman siguro ng agencies in government, may padrino system talaga.
Hmm.
But
It's a societal endemic problem.
yes, it is.
Unfortunately.
And no, and nakita ko talaga din, Ron, it's the way talaga, the mind setting in these agencies ba, it's really internal. It really has to come from inside. That's what I said na with the negatrons ba, with their arguments. I had hoped that instead nga of creating more negativity, we need to, we need to foster change by encouraging reforms.
Mm.
Better training, better neuro services, better mental health programs, not just for the PNP but for the whole of the government. And then we also need to focus on their internal justice system. So, ing ana manggod para sa ako, Ron, ang dapat nato ayuhon within the PNP. And then the thing is, pag yun, it added fuel to the problem when, like, the chief PNP was misquoted. Kaya na siya gisulti. Actually, taas niya yung answer, but only a small context of that was being put in the media. So, mali na gid siya. Di ba? I'm not defending what he said because I disagree with it also. However, naaday siya bawi the iron. Like, it was a very long answer and he had, medyo na siya gibawi in the ending. So, wala na. Di ba? Namatay na siya within because that's what the media is trying to do now. They're trying to catch, snippets like what they're doing to the president also. So, it's the same thing with all of the other police men and women who have posted, like even Mystica, she posted all her thoughts and everything. And the thing is, this does not echo a huge number of police officers kasi. Like,
Right.
that's what I'm saying ba, that these police people speaking, none of them is from Butuan. Ako kasi, I know the police force in Butuan City because I've been working with them since 2016. So I know the culture here. I know the thinking. I know the plight of the police officers here. I've never met, well, I have like one or two that I personally don't like. However, they have to answer to the things that they have done. So, ganun kasi, that's why I keep on saying, that's why I speak like this for the police. It's because of what I am exposed to. Kumbaga, that's why I don't agree with condemning the entire police force because it's unfair for the police of Caraga region. It's unfair for the police of Butuan City. And that's what I'm saying. And the police that, my other friends who are in other regions and places already. Because hindi din tama, Ron. And that's what I'm saying, Bana. I hope that the PNP will look into reforms. Will look into, kasi that's what I also admire about the AFP. Is that, they have a certain way of doing things that really works also. So, diba, let's take best practices amongst agencies and use it. And that's what I'm saying ba, na it's really a proactive thing, Ron, diba? We need to foster proactiveness between people and these agencies. So that's just para sa akin, that was what I was hoping for. I was waiting for that from VP Lenny. I wasn't waiting for it from the traitors, sila Colyamat, sila Zarate, sila Sara Ilago, because of course they're gonna be, we know what they're gonna say, right? But I had hoped kasi that was VP Lenny's message, na we'll look for reforms, pero wala there's just nothing there. And that's what I'm saying na pinaabot ko po.
Alam mo,
Yes.
Miss Jam, I understand where you're coming from. Reforms definitely should be part of the
Yes.
agenda. Well, first of all, reforms has always been the main agenda of the president when he ran
Yes.
2016. So
Yes.
reforms come in different in so many different aspects of government
Amen.
and society.
Yes.
Hindi lang government,
Mm-hmm.
pati yung mindset ng mga tao. Kasi alam mo, ang leadership naman it comes from the grassroots pa rin kahit papaano. Yung
I
mga
always say that. Yes.
Di ba
I
yung
do
mga
agree.
indirect nating mga tao nanggaling rin po yan sa ating mga komunidad, sa ating mga communities. So how the
Yes.
communities run itself, or the people who are part of the community, whatever traits that are nurtured in that community,
Mm.
they are the leaders that we have today. So yung
Yes.
pagbabago, hindi lang yan dapat sa gobyerno kasi very superficial.
Yes.
Yan, dapat din
Yes.
manggaling rin yan sa ating social structures,
Yes.
our families, uh,
Mm-mm.
basically sa ating mga pamilya. Dahil
Yes.
yan yung mga future leaders natin eh. Now,
Yes.
going back to what you said about the PNP, yes, we need reforms, but at the same
Yes.
time, we have to also acknowledge the good work
Amen.
of the
Yes, that's
majority
what
of
I'm
the
trying to
police
do.
force
Yes.
that they've done in the last 9 or so months during the pandemic. Let me just point out some of the numbers here. Actually, at the start of the pandemic, about 91,544 police officers have been in the front lines, to
Amen.
fight the deadly virus, leading
Yes.
to 8,735 COVID cases within the police
Mm.
organization. So, alam
Kasama
nyo,
friend ko dyan.
yung mga police
Yes.
officers natin, mga
Yes.
frontliners. As a matter of fact, one of the people I worked with sa DILG, yung kanyang husband died because of
Oh my,
COVID.
so isa siya sa sinabi pala ni Secretary Anyo kahapon na
Mm-hmm.
namatay.
Oo,
Kasi
namatay yan.
naka-mention siya na may namatay talaga ng mga tao sa DILG.
Ay
Same
naku,
with the
mama, alam
police.
mo,
Yes.
nakakaawa talaga kasi itong couple na to, I hope she doesn't mind mentioning her story, although I'm not gonna say her name, but yung relationship nilang dalawa, they're very close, no? They're a very loving couple at they call each other such really, sweet pet names, tapos
Yes,
bilang all of
yes,
a
yes.
sudden he was taken away from her because of the dedication of this husband of hers
Yes.
who's from the
Yes.
police force, namatay dahil sa
Yes.
COVID. So can you imagine her loss? And I mean,
Yes. That's me. Yun nga, hindi man lang niya mahawakan, hindi man lang niya nakasama, 'di ba?
exactly. And
Hindi
among
man
the
lang hindi
8,000,
naman lang binurol 'yun, diretso na 'yun. So,
totoo yan, and among the 35 COVID cases within the police organization, of this number, 27 cops died.
yeah.
337 are still battling the disease.
Yes,
And
I know.
so far, 8,000, thankfully, 8,371 have recovered
My friend
from
is part of
COVID.
that. One of my good friends. She's a police dentist. I'm not gonna mention her name. I love her so much. I do business with her also, and she really battled COVID because she's a frontliner. Actually, all of my police friends right now are all frontliners. All of them, my closest are frontliners. So, she was battling. She was battling with COVID, and she was messaging me. I was with her all throughout it, and that's why I feel the need to support them and speak for them because they can't speak for themselves because it will only seem self-serving mangodron, di ba? When you speak about yourself and ganyan, parang nagbubuhat ka ba ng sarili mong bangko. But it's really not easy. And here, as an example, since you cited, examples, here in Butuan City kasi Ron, we are severely undermanned. We
Mm.
are undermanned here. Okay, our population in Butuan City is growing. It has grown exponentially from 2015. However, our quota for the police has remained sort of the same. Nalagamayng changes, but again, Butuan City is a lone, highly urbanized city. And there's the rest of the regional quota that also needs to change, di ba? Now, when at the start of this pandemic, Ron, that's why I started helping because of the police. Kaya imagine mo, Ron, we have one police officer to 1,000. The ratio before is 1,015 people per police officer.
Mm.
Now, it has grown, I think, to 1,500 to 1,700 per police. So you can only imagine, Ron, at the start of the pandemic, na even buntis nag-checkpoint. Isipin mo ha, even buntis, even people, police officers or police personnel na normally nasa opisina lang, they are out in checkpoints. Being, di ba? And it was, for me, Manggod, for me, that in of itself, that buntis siya eh. She's at risk. Di ba? Even the older policemen, although they have not retired yet, but of course they have comorbidities, ano din sila because there was no choice. And
Mm.
they were handling checkpoints, Ron, Hana. Hindi to normal lang na 8 hours. No, this was 16, 24 hours. Tapos, di ba, parang, to me ba, we need to acknowledge that this is something that we have to thank our frontliners for. It's just the same as nurses. It's the same with the AFP. It's the same with the teachers. It's, di ba, these things ba na they forget the people who are negatrons to the police right now. They forget that whether they like it or not, the police has done them service. And that's what I keep on saying ba na, di ba, you say that you cannot call, you cannot trust the police, blah, blah, blah. But if something happens to you right now, you have no choice. You will still call them, and you know ano yung masakit? They will come to you. They
Yeah.
will still help you. They will not check your Facebook. Oh, sige, ano kaya tingin nito sa amin? They won't do that. They're not the type. And that's what I told the squad yesterday, no? Diba, I posted a video na kasi yun talaga yung kasagsagan eh. It was the morning after na nag-trending. Sabi ko, oy, nag-trending tayo. Number 1 ako, number 2 kayo. So number 1 ako, nabwisit daw ako, witch ako, eh kayo naman terorista. Pero magsama tayo. Anong gagawin natin? Maggagawa tayo ng magandang gawain. Tutulong pa rin tayo. Saan tayo tutulong? Sa totoong terorista, sa mga pamilyang iniwan nila. Diba? That's what, yun yung sinabi ko na, diba, it doesn't stop. I don't stop being Magno, you don't stop being police, so let's go. So that's, I felt bad because they were really, they're BCMFC, they really are the ones that maneuver in red areas. But, they said, ma'am, wala ganun talaga Imagine, Ron, and to think, Hannah, itong mga negatron na to, they are rabid, they are so hateful. But the person, Mr. Gregorio, did you see his message? The husband and the father who lost his wife and his son did not say anything against the police. He thanked President Duterte. He never blamed President Duterte. He thanked the police that was good daw kay murag nagpadala man na may mga gipadalagod nga tabang ang police sa iyahaw and his family. Wala and to think, Hannah, Ron, you would expect that from him. You would expect that messaging from the person who lost everything, diba? You would expect him to be, hateful also and to be mad. Ron, mabuang yun ko. Na, when I watched his interview man I thought man nga basin gidrama lang or basin anak. When I saw his interview, Ron, and I saw the messaging, muragig ko ganang wow, kanang it's that transformative message of kindness bitaw na really the president is not to be blamed. He has always been very clear about that line bitaw that they keep on kanabang the line that they keep on pulling sa iyaha or pitting sa iyaha nga. The license to kill. No. It has always been clear. You kill in the line of duty and in the protection of the Philippines, and ako ang bahala sa inyo. That had always, Ron,
The only time you will use a weapon is when you think your life is in danger.
Yes.
Very, very clear yan sa presidente.
Grabe, clear,
diba?
Ron. And para sa ako,
Tapos he keeps on repeating, if you do right, I will protect you. I will defend you.
Yes.
But if you do wrong, like this idiot, bahala ka sa iyong buhay. 'Di ba? Ikulong mo 'yan, sabi ni presidente. Huwag mo ipalabas yung yung gago na 'yan, yung na 'yan, sira ulo na 'yan, sabi niya.
The thing is, Magudron, that's what I'm saying also ba na, remember the time nga he met with the police calawags, 'di ba? There was a 'di ba, he made a speech in front of them. I have never heard a president do that. Since Fidel Ramos, I have never heard any of the presidents face police calawags and minura sila. And sinabihan sila na kakahiya kayong lahat. Diba? I have never heard any president say that. I have never heard also a president na talagang will threaten any government person na if you do wrong, patay ka sa akin. Like, as in, you don't have a space. I have not heard any president say that and actually mean it. Kaya, diba, it's funny ba when people blame him and I'm like, kahit bobo maiintindihan talaga yung ibig niyang sabihin. Na diba na the president had made it very clear what he says about the killing. About killing, about using your weapon. And again, what I find funny is that they make it seem like he wants the police and the army to kill at will. Na trip lang. And even if that's true, Ron, that's the thing, democracy tayo. Hindi tayo komunista. Whatever the president may say, if I don't believe that to be true, then I will not do it. Di ba? Bahala. I have my own mind. I can still speak my mind and I can still, di ba, do right by my duty. Yun nga yung sinabi ko. Sabi ko, I have not seen it in the credo of the police and the army na pumatay ng trip lang. Ang gago at ang bobo lang ng thinking na yan.
Alam mo,
Honestly.
tsaka to add to what you just said, Miss Jam, in the last 6 months, I can't remember the only, well, obviously this case na kay, what's his name again? Is
Nuesca.
si Nuesca, this Nuesca guy. Yan yung pinaka talagang very prominent na situation where, a policeman did something wrong. But when you look back, I can remember a few videos of policemen who sacrificed their lives in a
Paano na lang yung
checkpoint.
MAGNO? Yun nga.
Malala mo yung checkpoint na yung police meron silang hinarang
Oo,
na
tapos binaril niya na
tandem.
diretso.
Tapos
Yun.
namatay yung isang pulis. Dahil sa yung naglabas pala, may baril pala yung riding in
Yes, yung
tandem.
sinita niya. Oo.
Yung sinita niya, nabaril siya. Tapos makikita mo yung ibang pulis, hinabol yung salarin, napatay rin. Pero yung isang pulis, it cost his life just being at that checkpoint. And every day, all these policemen, there's a risk to their lives.
Paano na lang yung pinatay recently, Ron? Di ba? Na sa mga, like yung mga, this is
Yung
what irks
CHPG.
me the most. No, this is what irks me the most eh. Ingay na ingay sila sa isang isolated case. But when it comes to the CPP, NPA, NDF, dead silence. Asaan ang hashtag nyong lahat? Asaan ang pauso nyo at paandar nyo? Wala. Zero. Diba? Ako kasi Ron, yun yung point ko eh, na I'm okay with you, like, with the people na are on my wall or listening or whatever, na parang, I don't mind you hating on what happened. I hate what happened. However, it's just a tad bit hypocritical na napakaingay mo na para ka nang ma-stroke sa issue na to, but you are dead silent about recruitment, teen rebels. You are CPP, NPA, NDF atrocities. Mga namamatay na pulis, mga army na paa na lang ang natira dahil sa bombing. Wala akong narinig.
Sino ba pinapag-usapan ito? Yung Makabayan Block ba? Or sino?
No, I mean in general. People in general.
In general.
Not just
People,
the Makabayan Block because, they're Makabayan cockroaches also. This is people in general. Na parang they said, hindi naman kami namumulitika. Galit lang kami. No. If you're galit, then be galit in all of the things that really affect people's lives. Diba? Kasi, before all of this, we were focused on atrocities of the real terrorists. And it automatically, in one day, boom, sira yung buong PNP? Mali. Di pwedeng ganon.
hindi
diba?
naman siguro. Pakiramdam lang nila na sa ginagawa nila ay masisira ang PNP na But the truth of the matter is, look, Miss Jam, sometimes I feel that we overreact sometimes
They
with
do.
the reaction of these people na
Grabe.
maingay lang talaga. Pero sa
Grabe
totoo
talaga.
lang, pag pumunta
Grabe.
tayo sa mga barangay ngayon, nag-survey tayo, karamihan dyan, walang pakialam sa mga pinagsasabi ng mga mga loko-loko na yan. Actually, may mga messages dito para sa iyo, Miss Jam. Si Jerry Lansing Jr., sabi niya, Miss Jam, pakisari na lang sa discussion ninyo yung dinukot ng mga pulis at pinugutan ng ulo sa Baguio. O, di ba?
Yes, I know about that. Yes.
Kawawa naman. Si Regina Cuison, I agree with you, Jam Magno. Mel Tendedero, matalino pa si Jam Magno kaysa kay fake VP. Nerio Felicitas, gusto ko si Jam Magno magsalita, matalino ang galing. Kaya po kaming mga nasa ibang bansa natutuwa dahil sa inyong mga vloggers ay nalalaman namin ang totoong balita. Salamat po. This is from Virginia Peterson. Thank you so much, Virginia, for sending that in. Let me check also the messages on YouTube, no? Kasi meron din tayo mga mensahe doon na galing sa YouTube. Check ko lang ngayon. Sayang naman. At bago ko lang na-discover na meron palang nanonood sa atin sa YouTube. Sa istorya. Diba? Masyado ka na kasing sikat, Miss Jam. That's why.
No. It doesn't change things at all. I'm still a pretty,
Ito. Ayun, sabi ni Tom Cruise, Makabayan cockroaches. Haji Palaruan, Jam, you are very insightful about the things on the ground. You resonate with me and the 91%. Padayon. Si RH, yung namatay na police patrol sa Cavite, carnapper, walang nag-ingay. 'Di ba? Ano 'yan, lumabas rin yung video na 'yan, pero wala
Yes.
masyadong napag-usapan about diyan,
Yes.
no?
Yes.
Na
Yes.
ay nako, siguro natatakot pa minsan. Alam mo kasi hindi mo maiwasan na naiisip natin yung mga noong panahon before this administration, mga police pag
Yes.
hinarang ka, merong mga buhaya, 'di ba? May mga tinatawag
That's
tayong
true.
buhaya na
Ngayon kasi
ah,
wala na eh. Yeah. Yeah,
nangingill,
nagko-curve.
ah,
Yeah.
'di ba? Ngayon tapos yung mga huli dap na tinatawag, yung may mga pulis na huhulihin ka for nothing, tapos hindi ka
I-hold
papakawalan,
up
hindi ka
ka.
magbayad, 'di ba? So may
Yeah.
mga ganun. Pero nawala na po yung lahat ngayon.
Yes, it
Marami ng
has
mga
significantly changed. Like, ako personally, Ron, I am aware of a few scalawags, even here in Butuan City. Hinihintay ko lang talaga ang tamang timing. But again, I will not shame them on social media, but I will face them and I will support the cases being filed against them.
nako. Miss Jam,
So,
ingat
kasi
ka lang
ganun
ha.
ako,
Alam
Ron
mo,
eh.
ibang
No,
usapan
no.
na yan. Alam mo yun, medyo we're talking about you can put yourself in a very dangerous position when you do that. But
No,
yeah,
no, no.
sana
Hindi.
ano.
That's what I'm saying lang kasi, Ron, na that's what I'm saying, but the people need to understand that I am defending the good in the PNP. However, I will also not condone the bad that I see happening. That's just one thing that I need to make clear. Kasi parang, they're like, oh, you're so one-sided, you're so, no, 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 no. Just because I don't complain about it on social media, it doesn't mean I'm not making strides in it in real life.
Hmm.
Kasi Ron, ako personally talaga, I know currently of a case being developed against the police officer. And I do hope na mawalan talaga siya ng trabaho talaga sa ginawa niya. And
Right.
this is something na I don't speak about it. I will not speak about it. You will not hear me speak about it. However, I know in my heart that he knows that I am really going to support the case. I am
Hmm.
going to, di ba? Ganun lang kasi yan, Ron, eh, na I don't complain because I find solutions in real life. So that's what I keep on telling people na ano ba magagawa kung negatron ako? Wala kasi talagang magagawa. Wala talagang maitutulong yan. Eh, kasi I really do love the Philippines and I want us all to develop and succeed. So this is the difference, Ron. That's why I like speaking with you and I like doing things like this because at least ba mas naiintindihan din ng ibang tao na siguro hindi pa ako kilala or siguro they also want to hear, you know, yung ano talaga yung iniisip nila na being manifested and said kasi I'm a normal person. That's why I keep on saying na when people say na oh, sikat ka na or you get all the attention, blah blah blah. Ang sa akin kasi is even if you say I get all the attention, I'm still talking to a phone. I'm still talking to a tiny ass phone and seeing myself on TikTok. So,
Right.
'di ba? I don't let
This
the
is nothing.
attention.
I mean, yes, you're able to resonate a few ideas with thousands of people using the platform, but it's also very different if you're out there actually doing the work, diba?
Yes.
Talking to people in
Yes, that's
person,
why.
which
That's
we
what
can't
I
do
keep.
because of the pandemic. But alam mo,
Ako, no,
you
no.
get
Ang
what
sa akin kasi, Ron,
you
is
get what I
that
mean.
I have to. I really have to. I have to really make an effort. And I've been doing this ever since 2016, I've been working with the police already here in Butuan City. However, during the pandemic, it was only until, ito lang, recently lang talaga that I came back out because I really followed the health protocols. I followed all, I don't even have a quarantine pass. Like we have that here in Butuan City. I don't have one because in our household, there are 3 people all the time, like that stays here in the house. So we only have one person that has a quarantine pass. Only one. I don't even have a quarantine pass. Nagbukas yung isang mall namin na bago lang dito. I have not set foot in there. Even if the family owns a restaurant in that mall, I have not been to a
Mao
mall
day
this month.
luspad ka day. Namuti gyud ka kasi sa balay lang ka pirmi.
No, promise good Ron, like wala gyud ko. I have not I follow because again, I don't want to be a part of the problem. I
Right.
don't want to be a part of the problem na si Kupo na pugkog police, si Kupo na pugkog barangays,
Mm,
problema ko na pugkog DOH. Kaya
yes.
bang wala gyud unya Ron, come on. I can always ask for favors. No, please, let me go out. Please, wag mo na akong, ayoko dakpa, please. But no. Like, makatawa lagi ko kasi they're like, ma'am, like kanina ha, di ba I told you I went on a gift-giving spree.
Yeah.
Ron, you know how hard it is to wear a mask and a face shield because it's mandated now, di ba? Unya ron, magdala ka og halos 7 kilos nga putos. Unya, mulakaw ka og in the, as in middle of the day, nga sweltering heat. Makaginawa pa kag tarong ron. Unya, we were, di ba? I posted the photo of my muddy shoe, my muddy boots. Na, we did that. Unya, I cannot complain kay I was in a shirt lang man. How about the police officers nga ginuo ko 2 layers? Napa sila t-shirt sa ilalom, napa sila init nga uniform nga dili mo stretch. 'Di ba? I mean, but we still did it, Ron. Muto niyo ko sa mo, Ron. Oh my God, kanang nagbuol ko kay, we need to do this earlier. Nagpahilot ko because that was 6 barangays. 6 barangays and almost 40 tax, 40 families. So we had to go. Kasi we can't do, dili man pwede good, we can't do it na, group sila, di ba? So we had to go per house. But I was grateful because the people in those areas, those were the poorest of the poor here in Butuan. So I was super grateful because I got to see them ba. I got to remind them that, hey, you know what, Christmas is not canceled. Because Ron, mapansin magud nimo, no, wala, the Christmas spirit is really not visible anymore. Not this year. Even
Yeah.
ako, I live in a house. We don't really have any Christmassy things. And how much more
Understandable.
those poor, diba? Especially those poorest of the poor, diba? So,
Mhm.
it was just really nice, Ron, ba, na I really got to do that today. But again, who did I do it with? The police. Diba? The same people, diba? The same people that you call supposedly terrorists. And they were with me today. So that's why, I encourage people in that listen to me, ha. Look for the good in the PNP. Look in your neighborhood na amang yun na. There are really police officers that maybe in the traffic light, in the police box in your area.
Alam mo, Miss
In
Jam, that makes sense for to me, ha, what you just said. Kasi there's a lot of negativity because of the incident that happened with
yes,
Nuesca. And of course, the Gregorio mother and son who got killed in the process. And, so many different opinions coming in. And
yes,
also,
yes,
this sort of like, it sent shivers into so many people's spines na
yes.
grabe itong nangyari. Ito, karumal-dumal talaga yung nangyari.
Karumal-dumal yun. Nakaririm-marim. Mm-mm.
'Di ba? Tapos may indignation that followed because of this incident. But at the
Yes,
same time, there's a lesson that you can learn from it. Gone are the days where you hear stories from your parents, and then there's always a moral to the story. And what I want from our blog kasi is we talk about the issues, and then at the end of the program, we always have the big
yes.
takeaway,
Mm-mm.
because we can't just have conversations that are pointless. You want to
Amen.
talk about your problems, but at the same time, you want to find solutions to the problems.
Amen.
So we want to dedicate this 8 remaining minutes because we're about to enter the 2 hour mark. Ano, masarap kakakausap kasi Miss Jam eh.
You too,
Ang
Ron.
dami nating mga kaibigan na from different countries, making it known that they are watching us right now and
Thank
they're
you.
enjoying the conversation. Unfortunately, we can't talk
Yes,
about
no,
this all night long.
you can see it in my face. I'm actually, yeah, but again, hindi ko na malayan talaga 2 hours
Yeah,
na
but what did
almost
I
2 hours.
learn from this incident, this Nuesca incident, first and foremost, that we have very deep issues that we need to that has been
Yes.
uncovered
Amen.
by this, and I've seen a few experts talk about it, psychologists as well, na
Yes.
sinasabi nila na uh, this can be an isolated case, which could be, but at the same time, it's also something
A threat.
uh, that is something that has been percolating
Yes.
within society, na
Yes.
parang may problema talaga ang ating society. One
Mm-mm.
of which is, of course, poverty. Dahil sa
Yes.
poverty, marami po tayong mga kababayan na who are not educated enough, who haven't reached that
Amen.
level of understanding of
Yes.
how they should treat people. Yung
Yes.
values medyo eroded because of
Yes.
pop culture, social
Amen.
media, the programs
Social
that we
media
watch on TV.
and how kids are raised these
I
days
can
also.
imagine, di ba, you live in a 10 by 10 in the slum areas. You have like 7 kids. there's just the two of you, and the father probably is lasenggo or an addict,
Amen. Or yeah,
nagda-drugs.
an
Yung mother
abuser,
na
yeah.
bandera. Tapos wala na siyang panahon para alagaan yung kanyang 8 anak. Ang
Yes.
gagawin ng parents,
Yes.
hindi dahil sa kagustuhan nila, dahil ito yung mas convenient, hayaan nilang magliwaliw sa labas.
Yes. Yes.
Mag-iikot-ikot yan at magkakabarkada ng mga masamang elemento rin. They end up working for the syndicates perhaps,
Gangs,
and
they join
gangs,
gangs.
start
Yes.
gangs. And then that's where the social problem talaga, that small
Starts.
example, that's what's
Yeah.
happening in our in our communities,
Yes.
the bigger communities which are impoverished.
Yes.
That's why yung mga issue na kagaya ni somebody like Nuesca who grew up in that type of environment has gone crazy.
Yeah.
Nabigyan pa ng konting power dahil police siya. The way
Exactly.
he deals with his
Na-escalate.
fellow man is not anymore human.
Hindi na.
Because
Yeah.
when you live in a situation like that, dog eat dog world na yan eh.
Amen.
Sino yung malakas? Sino yung may
Yun ang
barangay?
mananalo. Yun ang, yeah.
Sino yung dikit kay barangay captain? Sino
Yes.
yung
Sino yung malakas? Yeah. Sino may
diba?
kapit? Yeah.
Sino yung may kapit? Ako ang siga dito. Bakit papalag ka?
Amen.
So that's exactly what happened in this situation. And then you have the Gregorio mother and child. Obviously, they're also they belong into that that
Yes.
segment of society na neglected rin, mahihirap din. Siyempre,
Yes.
yung mga mahihirap rin, may konting pride rin yan.
Amen.
At pag ano sila, parang naapakan, medyo papalag rin.
Yeah, there's
Diba?
an aggression there.
So
yes.
you have a policeman, and you have this guy who was drunk, perhaps the young Gregorio who was shot,
Yes.
was drunk, diba? And he was making,
Yeah, he
nagpapaputok
was.
siya.
Yes.
Diba?
Yes.
Yung,
He was,
and
yeah.
then, alam mo naman daw sa probinsya daw, wala masyadong magawa yung mga tao, di paminsan, naghahanap ng, aliw,
Kalibangan.
kalibangan, which is different in Bisaya, but yeah, anyway.
You get the point, yeah.
You get the point. And then, itong dalawang personalities that reflect a
Nag-clash.
segment
No,
in that environment, biglang nag-clash.
Yes.
And it's just a case of a bad timing, bad
But
situation.
also, Ron, an important point that I think we kind of missed, or you missed in that whole thing, I think I want to interject, is it's also parenting. There is a very big lesson on parenting in that situation, because I watched the video. He was fine all throughout the video, Ron, until his daughter spoke.
I noticed that too.
Until that petulant little pig started to speak. And that's when hell broke loose. That was, to me, that the lesson that you shared, yes. However, the bigger picture that really got into that, was the parenting style. How he raised his child to be like that. I am not saying that we should focus our thing on the child. No, I am also, But for me, Mangodron, nakita magod nako dito that he really just, there was a huge shift sa iyang kabuang, kung naa may kabuang niya, when his daughter spoke. When, di ba, I don't know if napansin po na nimo ha, but dito yung ko nakakita ba nga, asa man yun nagsugod ang bikil? Where did the crux start? Then I saw it when the daughter spoke.
From my point of view, after watching the video, I was watching it closely, and see how things transpired and how sort of things escalated. The guy, I remember him saying, "Oh, tawagin yung barangay," and he was holding on to the shirt of the guy, diba? And medyo okay na yun. Medyo kalmado na siya eh. Hinihintay na lang ng resolution. Narating yung barangay captain, tapos para matapos na yung usap-usapan. Bigla na lang, ito si little girl, tahimik na eh. Biglang.
Tahimik na.
Alam mo yung mga situation na bigla na lang may humirit pa. Yung last hirit pa, may nag-last hirit pa.
Yes.
My father is a policeman. Diba, gumanon siya. Tapos may hinawakan pa niya yung book ni Lola or ni, di ba, ni mother.
Actually, no. She pulled pag yun. Yung gibira ang book pa sa Lola.
Confronted the old woman. And the old woman naman did this thing. Ang reaction niya, I think talagang totally talagang
Yeah.
it triggered
Yes.
the policeman when she said, "I don't care."
Mm, 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 mm.
No,
Mm-mm.
yung parang that yun yung parang
Yes,
di ba
that's what
parang
I said nga ron, nga maugit to that was really the crux of the whole situation. Na ako, maybe I saw it that way because mama manggod sad ko. However, ako manggod ron, I was raised manggod na when adults are speaking, you as a child, go. Kasi that was my first reaction nga kung tatay ka nga tarong and if you're a good dad, your first reaction would be altercation, I will protect my child. Alis. 'Di ba? Leave, go. 'Di ba? You know,
yeah.
like ako, my dad really handled guns and he was a very sharp shooter. However, we were always in a situation he would never, especially if may alitan kasi like, you know, like traffic problems or may ganyan, when my dad got mad, he would always tell us, his children, Alice, go. Go. You are not a part of the conversation, go. It's, di ba, it's
Walang
just,
ganun. Wala nang ganun
yeah,
nangyari dun sa Oo.
di ba sa iya manggudron, wala niya gipalakaw yung anak, iyang gipatanaw.
Mm.
And that's what happened now. And that to me is the lingering problem now that we need to address also ba. And I think the lesson that I also want to leave with our listeners tonight and viewers tonight is if you are a parent, please watch yourself before you teach your children and teach your children by actions. Kay as in gid ron didto gid para sa ako mo gito ibikin. It was really the child. Katulang gid katunga little katong seconds gid leading up to the shooting.
Ako, I've learned,
Nga.
Miss Jam, to manage expectations. Kay kabalo man ka, it's easy to just give advice to people who are not
Amen.
whom you
Amen.
can't relate to when it comes to their way of
No, but
living or the
yes,
environment that they're in.
mao
Um,
giingon sa police pod ron. Nga ni ana gid sila nga ma'am naabtan gyud og itong to si sir. Kana bang wala we did not defend her. We're not defending him. Pero kana bitang when you are in the situation, dili mang you won't ever understand until you yourself are there.
yeah.
'Di ba? You will never like naabtan gid siguro siya ma'am. As in na in a way ba ya gid ron no? I agree with that. When the kay syempre nag-story I have, you know, when we spoke about it, syempre the police, they when nag-uban man good me, and you know, di ana gid sila nga, ma'am, I am not defending him, ma'am, pero makaingon lang daw siya ba nga, in that situation, yun, nipitik lang yun siya. And that's what happened. That's exactly what happened. And para sa ako, there is really no turning back, Manggod Anaron. You know, that point of no return, mao lang yun to'y nahitabo sa iya. And that's why, Manggod, na we need to focus on that. We need to focus on that really that crux lang yun ba nga it could happen and it already happened, and yun nga the people just took it out of context and blew
Right.
it up, and you know, and I hope that it, you know, we become better at judging situations. We're not defending the culprit, ha? I will repeat that, but again, you're right, ang easy po mag-judge, pero wala ka naman sa sitwasyon, hindi mo talaga mafe-feel yun.
I'm just hoping the big takeaway talaga is about family values.
Amen.
Nakalimutan na po natin yung ating responsibilidad as parents sa ating mga anak. Alam ko, napaka-convenient po na pabayaan lang natin sila na maglaro ng kanilang mga
Yes.
gadgets,
Yes.
ng kanilang mga cellphone, ng kanilang
Yes.
mga iPad nila.
Yes.
Pero kailangan pa rin ng konting parenting. Alam ko, marami tayong mga preoccupation.
Malaking parenting pa rin, no?
Oo.
Malaki talaga. Now
Kasi,
more than ever.
alam mo, kung hindi natin mababago yung vicious cycle of bad parenting,
Yes.
ay hindi magbabago
We will
yung
not create a better Philippines. Yes.
correct. Hindi yung societal problems natin ngayon ay hindi mababago kung
Will
hindi
never
natin
change.
babaguhin
Amen, Ron.
yung
Yes.
sistema one family at a time. Kasi
Amen.
nagsisimula sa pamilya talaga na unang-una yung
Amen.
disiplina. 'Di ba? Kailangan talaga na maintindihan na importante yung disiplina sa mga kabataan, na hindi po porket gusto nilang mag-video games ay hayaan lang natin sila maglaro ng video games.
Yes.
Nawawala yung kanilang social skills. Hindi na
Yes.
sila hindi na sila nakikihalubilo sa mga kanilang kapwa
Yes.
mga bata. At
Yes.
you know, I think what you can take away from this conversation primarily, because that that's lacking now in Philippine society. That's why we're
Mm.
reeling, or we're struggling to get the right people in government, to uh,
Yes.
to to have people treat each other the right way,
Better.
and
Yes.
better, and be kind to each other. Is because
Yes.
hindi na-instill or na-ingrain yung mga
Yes.
values na we're
Yes.
supposed to be, mga good values, like
Yeah. Yes.
patience,
Oh my gosh.
yung
Even I have
disiplina,
to learn that. Yes.
diba?
Yeah.
Yung hindi, this is not all about pride. Alam ko paminsan
Yeah.
nakakasakit magsalita ang isang tao, pero nasa sa iyo yan, decision mo yan kung magre-react ka
Yes.
o hindi, di ba?
Amen. Yes. Yes.
So, lahat yan ay pwede mong matutunan. Ang kailangan lang natin ay konting effort at
Yes.
konting paalala sa ating mga kaibigan,
Yes.
sa ating mga kapamilya. Ang
Yes.
mensahe po ng Pasko ngayon at ngayong 2020 ay pagbabago, dahil nararamdaman po natin ang paghihirap sa ngayong
Yes po.
pandemya,
Yes.
at ang paraan po para tayo ay ma-overcome natin itong mga problema natin ngayon
Opo. Yes.
ay magsama-sama, at kailangan magkaroon tayo ng
Yeah.
intindihan. We should understand that we need to help each other and
Yes.
in becoming better citizens and becoming better Filipinos.
Amen.
Diba? So,
Yeah.
yun. And we want to end by promoting that you buy local
Filipino.
products, Filipino, and bumili po tayo ng mga i-support po natin yung ating mga
Buy
local
my
businesses.
products, please.
Yung mga small businesses. Miss Jam, po
Yes.
ano yung negosyo mo ngayon? Hindi natin alam.
So I sell skincare, I sell beauty derm po. Please buy for me. Libre lang po kasi yung mga TikToks ko. Pag susuporta ko sa gobyerno, libre po kasi talaga yan. So syempre, pinatay po kasi nila yung Facebook ko. So actually, to be honest po, 4 na araw po ako talaga pong na-stress ako sa kita ko. Halos wala po. Pero okay lang, laban pa rin tayo. May emergency funds naman tayo. But yun nga, please buy my beauty derm products from me. Gusto din, we ship our peanut butter. And if you're from Butuan City, we sell barbecue po. If you are
Yun.
within the Agusan del Norte area po and can be reached by delivery services, please buy from us. So, yun po.
I also want to promote my good friend's business, Tribu. We have
Oh, that's
Tribu,
nice.
si Jason. This is what you call a headgear. Headgear po
Yes.
tawag dito. It's called Headwear. This is the name of the company. Ito. Para mas makita ng mga tao. Headwear.
Oh, okay. I have that. I have two.
You have that?
Yeah, I have two.
Actually,
I have
si
the blue
Jason
one for
Luengo, yung
6.96
may-ari ng
and
ng Tribu, gusto nga mamigay ng mga ganito. So, we're just gonna get...
Send me one. I'll wear it.
Sige. Sige, padalan ka namin, Miss Jam. Tsaka yung mga tsinelas ng Tribu. Yan, Philippine made
Wow.
po.
Sige. Let's support
Oh.
Tribu.
Ganda.
Nice.
Nice, di ba?
Nice. Actually, I know headwear. I know the brand. Yes. I own 2 headwears. I actually do.
Tapos, don't forget to support one of the Futboleros business, si Michael Pares, who owns Auntie Anne's.
Auntie Anne's, yes.
Bumili
I'm
kayo
gonna
ng
have Auntie Anne's when I come to Manila next month.
Kasi pag bumibili kayo ng produkto ng ating mga local businessmen, ay
Yes.
sinusuportahan po yung mga empleyado nila, at
Yep.
yung mga empleyado,
Amen.
din doon nila kinukuha yung pangsuporta ng kanilang pamilya. So tulong-tulong po tayo, mga
Amen.
kaibigan sa Istoryang Futbolero. Support local products, and don't forget, let me just greet some of the people here who've been watching.
Okay.
Grabe, as in, the smokehouse nga pala.
Yes,
Wag mo
Buboy's
kakalimutan.
business. Ikaw naman,
Buboy's
kinalimutan
business, the
mo.
smokehouse. Grabe. Buti na nakita ko yung message about the smokehouse. Hanapin po nyo sa Facebook kung mahilig po kayo ng mga bacon, mga meat na kailangan nyo para sa
I will
Pasko.
have to taste all of that when I come to Manila soon.
Tsaka yung mga viewers natin, kung meron po kayong mga negosyo, wag po kayong mahiya i-post, ipaalam sa amin kung anong gusto nyong i-promote para ma-promote po natin sa ating mga viewers, sa ating mga kababayan, para matulungan rin yung mga negosyo ninyo. Tulong-tulong po tayo ngayong panahon ng pandemya. That's the only way to go about it. Lalong-lalo na yung mga ating mga kababayan na nagbebenta online. Kailangan natin tulungan sila. Diba? Yung mga nawalan ng trabaho, nag-venture out,
Wala
nag-diversify.
yung audio, oh no.
Ha? Nawala audio?
But anyway, yun nga. But in any case, if this is the end of this, yeah, thank you for having me. I just want to interject. Thank you for having me tonight, Ron. I can't hear you na talaga.
You
So,
can't hear me? You can't hear me? No? No? No audio?
nawala yung audio bigla.
Oh my
Mm.
gosh. Ano, ano nangyari sa'yo? Okay, anyway, narinig ka namin. Narinig ka namin. We can hear you. We can hear you.
I can't hear you. Hold on.
Okay, so we'll get Jam back. But before we do that, I just want to say thank you, Abigail. Hello, Jam. You guys keep up your support to our people and our good government. And the Reds and Dilawan are so vicious, jealous. Um, and Mike Apolonio wish to watch Jam, Mikel, Orion, Eric at the same time. We'll definitely do that. Okay, soon. Actually, si Mikel gusto ma-meet si Miss Jam sa Istoryang Futbolero. Ayan, Miss Jam, okay na?
Ayun!
Dinig na. Sabi ni
Hoy,
Beth
ginoo ko ni
Ledesma, magkano daw
Teacher
yung
Joanna.
slippers,
I'm sorry,
ma'am?
I'm sorry.
If I'm not mistaken, less than 1,000 pesos lang siguro yung slippers ng Tribo. Kayang-kaya po ninyo
Okay.
yan. At
Send me
saka
the price list.
napakatibay po nung ano, meron pong website yung Tribo Philippines. You can check it out on Google.
Okay.
Yung ano, napakatibay nung tsinelas, sarap pa sa paa.
Alright.
Yun ang masasabi ko. At
Hey.
just so you know, hindi po tayo binabayaran ng Tribo, wala pong sponsorship.
Nope.
We just want to help them out, our friends who are who want to promote their businesses here. Abigail, um, thank you, Tom Cruise. Si Tom Cruise nakikinig sa'yo. I love watching smart people like Jam Magno and like Aling Lenny, Hontivirus and the likes who are very shallow,
Oh dear.
walang laman. Tapos si Zio Lanet, Jam Magno, my idol, di jud ko laayon mamati ni mo day. Balingaw
Thank
jud ko
you.
sa imong
Thank you.
pagkatabian nga na
Thank you.
asad kay makatunan. Lalim nun ah. So thank
Makatunan,
you.
manggod na.
Lagi. Mucha Salvio, Gracefield Soul. She says, "Hi Jam, thank you for putting into words what we have in our hearts. You always nail it.
Yay.
Many of us
My
Filipinos
pleasure.
resonate with you. We need to start helping each other. It's about time umangat tayo." Rhea,
Amen.
Imelda, Kamar, Vebran, Antonio, Lydia, Haji, RH, Ronald, Rufo, Rogelio, AA, Regine, Alark, Mars, and so many more. So many
Thank
people
you.
on
Thank you so
YouTube
much. You guys
who are
are awesome.
watching,
Thank you.
and also on Pop Beans, and
Thank
also
you.
on the Banatero group page,
Yes.
group groups on Facebook.
Yes.
Thank you so much for watching the program.
Yes. Thank
Any
you.
last words, Tom, you want to say to our viewers?
Advanced Merry Christmas to everybody. Thank you so much for all of your support. Please be kind to yourselves and to one another. And always remember to love the Philippines. Lalaban po tayo para sa bayan. Good night,
Yon.
guys.
Good night, Jam. Don't forget, bawal ang walang mask.
Yep. Social
Sanitize ang kamay,
distancing.
iwas ng hawak sa mga kung ano, distansya ng 1 metro. Alamin ang
Yep.
totoong informasyon, bawal fake news. At
Amen.
Facebook, parang awan nyo na, ibalik na nyo yung, yung account ni Miss Jam. Ang dami pong natutulungan yan.
I'll
Di
make
daw
a
may
new one.
disiplina.
I'll let you know.
Yeah, let us know if you're back on Facebook. But in the
Yes.
meantime, they can catch you on Twitter and
Yes.
also on TikTok, right?
No, I'm not on Twitter. I'm on TikTok and Instagram right now.
Ayun,
So,
TikTok and Instagram. So support Jams products rin ha. That's a big help, guys. Wala pong
thank you.
bayaran dito,
Yes. Super big
kami
help.
binabayaran para gumawa ng vlog. We just
Yes.
enjoy having having
Yes.
conversations about the Philippines and everything and
Yes.
everything about the Filipino people. So
Amen. Good
good night,
night.
guys.
Thank you.
Have a good
Bye.
one. Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas. Bye-bye.
Bye.